Trump supporter that can actually prove me wrong. That's the interesting thing about this, guys. I'm gonna go ahead and bring up my backup. If we could keep tapping the screen, as soon as we get the likes up to 8,000 likes, I will open up the panel. Please, please, please. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana 101 debates with Trump supporters. We are only talking to Trump supporters. The thing that I've realized, right, is that MAGA, they thought that they voted for one thing, or at least they portrayed themselves as voting for one thing when really they're voting for something else. So we're going to play the voting blame game, or to be more specific, the MAGA blame game. And MAGA, I want to know which one were you actually voting for, because can you prove me wrong? Because I think that you all voted for more wars, higher prices, less freedom, the love of isms and phobias, and last but not least, you want a king. But there is a special category: crash out and run. Crash out and run, because that's what you guys have been doing a lot lately. It's weird. It's weird, but you've been doing it. So I don't know. Anyway, if you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. Get in the box. This is Sparring with Santana 101 debates with Trump supporters. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Blaine, how are you?
I'm good. How was your day?
It's going pretty good, friend. Thank you for asking. You know what? It's Sunday, and Sundays are always like, because you got to get the work week started again.
Yeah, I had school all day, but
Yeah.
anyway,
Okay.
I think
real quick before we get started, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
Okay, awesome.
But I'm not like a hardcore MAGA guy, but I did support Trump.
Did you vote for him?
Yes.
Okay, well that's what I needed, because I need some clarification. Real quick before we get started, one, do you know who I am?
No.
Ooh,
Oh
okay,
wait, no,
awesome.
I have seen you, Santana. You were on. Weren't you on the Juneteenth stream with Dean the other day? That might be you.
Well, Parker and I did a Juneteenth stream, but yeah, no, you're good. Those are my little brothers, Parker and Dean. Absolutely. Cool. So it's all good. Let me give you, if you don't mind, a proper introduction to not only who I am, but what this is. Is that all right?
Sure.
Perfect.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the main event. Let's get ready to rumble!
Y'all ready for this? Guys, welcome in. This is Sparring with Santana 101 debates with Trump supporters. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you're a Trump supporter, get in the box. I am only talking to Trump supporters. If you're not a Trump supporter, then do all the things, right? Tap the screen, share the live. I'm going to keep resetting this daily gift goal to these little 1-cent goals. If we can knock those out a couple of times, it will help push us out to the FYP so we can get more of these actual debates going. Last but not least, something super important. Just a quick plug. And I'm going to be talking about this throughout the night. We have someone in our community who has an emergency, and they're being affected by specifically fires, and they're having to evacuate their home, and they are trying to actually come up with mutual aid. And so we have set a target of raising $500. There's more information about it in the Discord, but with that being said, any donations that you guys send over this evening until we can raise that money is going to go directly to that community member. And you know what? I'm sorry. Give me just a second. Let me read this off just so I can actually again, it's listed in our Discord in the mutual aid section if anyone wants to see it. But Specifically, I want to read this out, and I want to make sure that I give it proper attention. Emergency request for mutual aid. Hi, I'm Corey, a single mother with a 4-year-old daughter. We have to evacuate our home because nearby wildfires and currently staying in a hotel. We just bought our home last August, and this has been a huge financial and emotional strain. One of our pets was rescued, but we haven't been allowed back to get the other two. Wow. We're hoping to raise $500 to cover an immediate multiple day hotel stay along with food and necessities. Any support would truly be grateful. So guys, with that being said, I know I just butchered that. I'm sorry. I should have read it through the first time. With that being said,
sorry, is it okay if I come back up? I gotta go help a friend who's suicidal right now, but can I come back up in like 5 minutes?
Sure.
Thanks.
Take care of your friend. With that being said, Corey is one of our amazing mods. Corey is someone who absolutely does all the wonderful things for our community. So guys, if you can chip in, just like freaking Erica. W's in the chat for E. E sent $100 donation for Corey and baby girl. That's what I'm talking about, guys. That's community. That's love. That's how we do it. We have a goal of $500 to help Corey and her kid and her animals out. Guys, that's what we do. That's what we do. Thank you so much for that $100, E. All right, Blaine, got a question for you.
Yes.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Blaine, let's play a game. I need to know, which one of these things did you vote for? Was it for more war, higher prices, less freedom, the love of isms and phobias, or did you actually just want a king? Why did you vote for Trump?
Shoot, wait, oh, yes. I actually have it written down. Instead of just spewing off just random stuff, I actually have stuff like that.
Actually, I appreciate that.
It's either in this notebook or the other notebook that I have for my college. Well, actually, I could probably just tell you anyway.
Yeah.
So basically, the reason why Trump had my support mainly was okay, I have it right here. Yeah, I found my notebook. So, sorry, let me just change it.
You're good, friend. You're good. And legitimately, I appreciate the fact that you had some things that you want to speak to. Like that's more. So I'm gonna assume that you're not taking the crash out and run option.
No.
Okay. All right. Listen, you're already ahead of the game.
Yes. Okay. So would you like to just hear like a main point or just like the 7 basic points?
Let's give me one or two. I just want to know where you're coming from. Like, what's your position and what you hold to?
So the oil and gas industry and let's just say I'm gonna choose DEI.
Okay. All right. So help me understand both of them. When you say the oil and gas industry, what do you mean specifically there?
So the main reason why Trump had my support was because in 2024, Kamala said that she was going to ban or was interested in banning drilling and fracking.
Okay. Got it. All right, perfect. Now help me understand, what about the emphasis on DEI?
So I do not think that DEI should be used at all, but I think that we should dumb it down even more to like, you don't even put your name on an application or a qualification, right? Like all you literally have is like an identification number. So you don't have to so in case you get like a bad apple, like a racist employer or something, that they don't even know what race you are or anything, that they see your qualifications and they hire you.
Okay. Got it. All right. So let me do this real quick. Massive freaking W's in the chat for Kenneth over on YouTube, who sent $100 YouTube super chat to say this is for Corey. Kenneth, you are freaking amazing. I love you so much, my brother. You are absolutely amazing. Guys, that means we have now raised 200 of our 500 goal to help support Corey and her daughter and her kids who are being affected by a wildfire. They're trying to, they're staying in a hotel. They had to evacuate their home. Guys, if you can chip in, please, please, please chip in. Anything you can do to help out Corey and her daughter and her pets. We want to make sure we take care of Corey. Corey is one of our amazing mods. She's always there for us. So again, you can send it directly to me, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, Santana Speaks 24, Santana Speaks 24, best way to support Corey. And you can also send a YouTube super chat and we'll make sure we get that to her. So we only have, we need $300 more to make sure that we hit Corey's goal. So if you can donate, please donate. All right. So you talked about the oil and gas industry. You said Kamala Harris talked about in 2024 that she wanted to frack. I'm sorry, she wanted to end fracking. And then you talked about DEI, and then you said you want to quote unquote dumb it down, and you don't think that it should be used at all. So we're gonna play a little bit more of a game. I'll let you pick your poison. Which one do you want to talk about? Which one do you feel more confident about?
Probably the oil and gas industry.
Got it. Okay. All right, so let's drill down. Pun intended. Blaine, you said Kamala Harris said that she wanted to end fracking in 2024. Can you point me to any source that proves that she said that in that she said that in 2024?
There's a clip. It was either from an interview or on her campaign where she said that. Like I'm not making it up. She said that.
She did.
Biden said the same thing, but Biden actually went back on his choice, and then he started drilling more. But whenever she says that, it just made me weary, and I didn't know if she was gonna double back on that like Biden did.
Yeah.
So
yeah. No, listen. I hear you. So the reason why I said, if you can give me a source for 2024 specifically, is because she didn't say that in 2024.
What year was it?
She actually said that before while she was running for president in the primary in 2020. So she did say that, yes, she wanted to end fracking, but spending 4 years under Joe Biden in the Biden administration as the vice president, while Joe Biden not only took a positive approach when it came to fracking, also took a positive approach as far as drilling, and we drill more under Joe Biden than we have under any other presidency. So with that being said, Kamala Harris, when doubling back around for this past campaign, one of the things that she actually got flack for is saying that no, she doesn't want to ban fracking. And so a lot of people were like, oh, you're flip-flopping and da-da-da-da-da. And that was actually a big thing. People were upset and saying that Kamala Harris was flip-flopping when she simply said, you know what? I spent 4 years with Joe Biden. I learned more. I had more access to information and resources, and I don't want to ban fracking.
Yes, but another thing that ties into that too was the push for green energy, and I could tell you why. Or her dates. I don't believe that her dates that she was pushing for was very smart for it either.
What do you mean?
So she was pushing for like going green by 2030 to 2040, correct?
No, she wasn't. But there were some different initiatives. Specifically, when you talk about that 2030, I think it was 2035, but there was a specific initiative that's being pushed by California, which Donald Trump has had to tried to stop. But that wasn't Kamala Harris individually pushing for that time frame. But I know what you're talking about. But no, that wasn't her target. Now, there was a target within the federal government where I think they also aligned up with that time frame with California, where they wanted to actually get all federal vehicles on a green initiative, meaning that they weren't going to purchase any more vehicles that weren't electric for the federal government by that time frame. But that was only a federal government initiative to actually be able to improve the quality of the vehicles used within the federal government.
I must have been misguided on that one. I apologize for that.
You're good.
But I still do have a valid argument on that topic of why we shouldn't. So I'm personally studying this, so I know it.
Mm-hmm.
So whenever you make an electric car now, right,
Mm-hmm.
it doesn't create any CO2 emissions whenever it's running. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But the problem is that right now, whenever we create lithium batteries,
Yep.
they create either 4 to 16 tons of CO2 whenever they're created, and you need to replace an electric car's lithium battery. They say once to 1 to every 3 years, but my friends had an electric car for like 5 years, and they just like are having battery issues. So I don't believe that. So let's just say 5 years.
Mm-hmm.
If we ramp up electric vehicles and we start making more lithium batteries, the carbon footprint is not going to improve until like probably 2050 whenever we have all electric vehicles, right? If we do it too fast. So I think we need to continue on a steadier like route to electric vehicles instead of trying to push for it faster right now.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. No, listen, I hear you, right? So I've heard the actual information about the actual vehicles, right? Because that was a huge point of contention, absolute huge point of contention. But there was some misinformation that was being given when it came to replacing the batteries. So specifically speaking, and it depends on the type of battery it is for the different electric vehicles. But if you look at the, let's see here, you can go to the EDF, the EDF Energy, speaking to not only the cost of replacing those, sorry, let me close this out. The cost of actually replacing those batteries and the time frame with electric vehicles, most electric vehicles with the current types of batteries that they're using, you have to replace those every 10 to 20 years. So it's not that 3 to 5 year time frame that we were talking about. Now, the one thing that they do say is lithium is also lithium batteries contain lithium metals and contain ions, which like the newer ones, the way that they're made, they're safer and they actually last longer. So that was an initial worry when it came to electric vehicles, but not with the newer batteries and the way that they currently make them.
Well, during the process of making them is I'm talking not just
well,
like,
I mean, I wanted to address that one first before we went backward to the other one.
yeah, because like so right now we don't have like a diesel, like I don't even know like exactly how you make it, but I'm sure it's very heavy machinery to make them and mine all that. And right now there's still a bunch of big heavy operating machinery that uses like tons of fuel. So that's where that number comes from too, the 3 to 16 tons of CO2 that it takes to create it.
Yeah. And I'm sorry, you said it takes how much?
So I looked it up. It said it takes 3 to 16 tons, but I mean, I'm sure that that's with the bigger one. So I'm just going to go with a more better number. It probably takes around 5 because we're not making like big electric vehicles that are the size of Suburbans, right? I mean, very few are made with the 16 tons of CO2 with the bigger batteries and the bigger sizes.
Yeah, well, and so the only issue that I have with that, with you said the 16 tons for each battery.
No, while making an electric vehicle.
Oh, okay.
The batteries is one of the main components, and one of the reasons why also because we don't have a good what's it called assembly lines for electric vehicles yet, like the gas companies do.
Okay, wait. So maybe I was conflating the point. Your point isn't necessarily the specific battery when it comes to the creation. You mean the actual vehicle. I guess I misheard that.
Yes, everything to do with it.
Got it. Okay. I'm sorry. I was focusing on the battery when it came to the CO2 emissions. Yeah,
it's fine. I probably worded it wrong too.
No. You're good because I'm definitely looking at the actual CO2 emissions and the way that the carbon, the way it breaks down for the overall carbon footprint. And yeah, it says here that they compared to actually producing the vehicle, right? For it does create more CO2 in the production.
Yes, and then after about 2 to 3 years, it'll eventually gas cars will eventually outpace it.
That's what I was just about to
Yeah.
say. Okay. So the point being is, yeah, it does. And it's not like looking at the information in the way that it's actually statistically broke down. I mean, it's not a huge difference, but there is a difference. But with that being said, it says here the break even point with gasolines in terms of CO2 emission is within, like you said, 2 to 3 years. The only factors are like driving habits and cleanliness and the electric grid and blah, 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 blah. So with that being said, yeah, in the short term, it has, more of an impact than gas vehicles, but in the long term, it's way more effective. So I can understand your point as far as maybe like a slow ramp to get to that point, but also like I think there has to be a focus and a shift on it. So even if there is a different approach when it comes to like green energy, like renewable energy, there's a difference between a slow approach and no approach, right? Can we agree on that?
Yes.
So Donald Trump is taking a no approach, right? He not only has he said, "Oh, we want to get rid of the Green New Scam," which the Green New Deal was never actually passed, but he has also done things like lessen regulations for pollution, so for air pollution, water pollution, for different factories, and he's actually opening us up to more harm than just talking about making electric vehicles.
Yes, I agree with you on that. That I do think that Donald Trump is wrong for that. And sorry to spin back, but the fracking thing, I don't think that we should be fracking in certain areas with like groundwater and drinking water where
I
people
agree.
live, 'cause that can pollute. But like for example, off the coast of the Gulf of Mexico or Gulf of America, wherever you want to call
Gulf
it.
of Mexico.
I've been calling it Gulf of Mexico my whole life.
Yeah, that's a silly conversation. Anyway, go ahead. You got it.
So I think that we should be fracking there because there's no harm in that. It's very shallow water compared to most oceans, and there's no drinking water out there. So, I think that we should be fracking out there. But for example, in Texas, like where there's literally drinking water under the surface, we should not be fracking there. So I can get around that. And I think that Donald Trump is trying to appease. I am going into the trades. I'm going to be a floor hand on an oil rig. And I think that Donald Trump is trying to appease people too much in my area with too much. I would say like the blue collar energy. You know what I'm talking about? But I do think that he's wrong for that. And we should try to move toward a further date and maybe like slowly get into like the Toyota Camry, then get into some like hatchbacks over the term of these need to be like electric cars by this date. But I think it's too fast of a shift.
Yeah, well, let me throw this at you, right? Because again, I'm not saying you're wrong, right? I'm not even going to push back on your thought process because I mean it has some validity, but when it comes to appeasing quote unquote blue collar workers and saying, hey, we need to do A, B, or C, the issue is that the Trump administration, and he was very clear and very vocal about this prior to him becoming president, is that he had no real interest in any type of clean energy initiative, right? I mean, he attacked windmills, right? He attacked electric vehicles. He in this big beautiful bill that they're proposing, they've taken out the incentives to the EV incentives for people to actually purchase these vehicles. And when you couple that with the fact that he is deregulating multiple industries and allowing them to pollute more while not promoting any type of clean energy, and then even prior to him saying that, like there's nothing that he's doing or has said that makes me believe that he has any interest in maintaining a clean, safe, and healthy environment for everyday Americans.
He doesn't, but my thoughts were further weighed toward his side than Kamala's side or Kamala's side. Yes, sorry.
But you see how that's an issue though, because you and I just completely broke down like the multiple issues that have occurred when it comes to Donald Trump, his thought process with the actual energy initiative that he has. But the one thing that you said about Kamala Harris was she wanted to stop fracking. even though that was in 2020 and she changed her position on it and everything else, that the Biden-Harris administration falls in line with the things that you've said.
And I mean, I said this earlier. I know that her and Biden doubled back on it towards the end of their term, right? There were multiple reasons for that. I could tell you why, like the actual the contracts, but I was weary of supporting her for that because whenever she said that, I thought that she said that in 2024. You proved me wrong. So at that time, whenever I thought that she had said that in 2024, that's why I was weary. If I would have known that now, I probably would have considered her a little bit more.
Okay. So question for you then, because I think there's a lot to be said when it comes to the actual energy portion. I mean, I'm just going to be honest. It sounds like you had more knowledge about Donald Trump and his thoughts, and you didn't really have much on Kamala Harris. And so you didn't dig into anything. You just said, well, I don't necessarily like that. Even though I know these negative things, I'm going to roll with Trump. So I don't know. I'm gonna shift off of that for a second, and I want to go to your second point, if that's okay.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right. So you said that you don't like DEI.
Yes, diversity, equity, inclusion.
Sure.
Right?
Tell me about that. What is DEI?
So what I've been told is that it's not just, oh, we're gonna take an African American and a white guy and accept the white guy. That's not what it is. I understand that. I understand that it's, if they both have the same qualifications, we're probably gonna take the one like the minority, correct?
Oh, you can go ahead and finish. I want to jump in so you finish telling me what
I'm asking you. Is that,
no. I don't want to answer that yet. Just keep going.
So if with my understanding of that, if that's correct, if that isn't correct, I don't agree with that at all. But I also don't agree with what's currently in place. Of yes, there is some racist employers. I understand that there is some employers that skew away from that. But so if I was in office, which obviously it's so like divided now that this will never happen. But if I was in office, I could choose for that. I would choose that you shouldn't even have your name, because like, for example, one of my coworkers, his name is Keontre Starks. Obviously that's not a white person's name, right? Like so, you know, I don't even think you should have like names. You should literally just have qualifications and maybe not even gender. So just literally what you're qualified for.
Got it. All right. So let's break this down, right? A couple of things. First thing is, it's not DEI, it's DEIA. Any chance you want to take a guess at what the A stands for?
No, you have to educate me on that.
Accessibility. Accessibility speaks to disabled people, right? Giving people with disabilities an equal opportunity to an equitable opportunity to actually get a job, right? But more than that, and I'm sorry, because it was called out in the chat, and I want to make sure that I say this: DEIA is not a hiring practice. It's not a hiring practice. It is a standard of training. It is a something that people have to be educated on, and even more so, it's an initiative to increase the job market, right? So a lot of people think that DEIA is about like numbers or quota or whatever. Basically, all it means is that you need to focus on the best possible candidate, no matter if they are Black, no matter if they're a woman, no matter if they have disabilities, any of those things. Like, the most important thing is the candidate, not the actual individual thing that makes them quote unquote different. So when talking about DEIA, it's important because without DEIA, certain people would never get chances to have certain levels of representation, right? Think about this. Vets, Army vets. I'm sure you love our military people, right?
Yes.
Army vets are one of the biggest benefactors of DEIA, right? And so there's a misconception that DEIA is based off race, and it's been weaponized by Donald Trump and the Trump administration because they propagandized it and made people believe like, hey, just because this person is black, they get a job. When I mean, not talking about Army vets, yeah, but like white women are also one of the biggest benefactors of DEIA. So it's all about just giving those qualified candidates, those people with the merits, the opportunity to actually display their merits.
So what I said is I guess that kind of leans towards DEIA, I guess, of my beliefs.
Yeah.
I mean, wow, you just changed my mind on that.
Yeah.
So,
So this is the thing. This is the problem that I have with Donald Trump, right? Donald Trump is someone that weaponizes fear, right? Donald Trump is someone that actually counts on misinformation and disinformation. Now, the thing that you said to me, in which I'm really hoping that this is something that you'll take with you, because you said that you're in school, right? You're going into the trade, and I'm super impressed that you came in here with notes and points that you wanted to talk about. But even more than that, I want you to make sure that anytime that you have an opportunity, verify things, right? So even what I'm telling you, when we finish this conversation, go back and look up the stuff that I'm saying, right? Don't just take my word, because you said, well, I heard this is what it is. And actually like looking things up, verifying and critical thinking is key, right? And even more than that, like there's an amazing study there's a couple of studies, and you can look at there's two of them, one from Forbes, and then also another, a Pew Research study that was completed as well. But it speaks to how not only are DEIA, how it's beneficial to companies that adopt it, but those companies that adopt DEIA and they do those types of training and initiatives, those companies are more successful, right? Bringing in a diverse pool of people creates more success within those companies. And also the one that I love, the reason why I love the Pure Research one is because it talks about like how people feel, because they not only address like the effectiveness of DEIA practices, but like the individual people that work within those companies, they did a direct study as well about like how they view them. And overwhelmingly, the people that are participating in those DEIA practices overwhelmingly love and support what they're doing. So go back and check it out.
yeah, you just changed my mind on that. So I thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you for that. But oil and gas, I'm still gonna probably lean towards.
I hear you. I hear you. Listen, this is the problem with what you're saying with the like oil and gas. And let me just say this real quick while we got a few new people that have come in, guys. Tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 50,000 likes. Let's get the shares up as well to 50 shares. And also, guys, if you haven't sent your daily heart, go ahead and send it. It's only one coin, and it will help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. Last but not least, we have a community member, Corey. Corey is in emergency need for aid. I'm going to read this out real quick, and I'm going to do it better. Hi, I'm Corey, a single mother with a 4-year-old daughter. We had to evacuate our home because of the nearby wildfires and are currently staying in a hotel. We just bought our home last August, and this has been a huge financial and emotional strain. One of our pets was rescued, but we haven't been allowed back to get the other two. We're hoping to raise $500 to cover an immediate multiple day hotel stay along with food and necessities. Any support truly means the world to us right now. Guys, Corey is one of our mods. Corey is absolutely amazing. She's here every night supporting our community, helping us in every single way. We've already raised $200 of the $500. So if you have it, please consider donating. Anything you can do is more than helpful. You can send it directly to me, my Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. We are trying to raise this $500 for Corey tonight, for her daughter, for her pets, for her safety, so she can actually get somewhere and have the ability to stay while these wildfires are being taken care of in her area. Anything is accepted. Going back to what I was saying as far as like the oil and gas industry, Donald Trump has repeatedly done things that have been harmful to the oil and gas industry, specifically in his first term, right, with the OPEC Plus deal. Do you know what that is?
No, but I do know what one good thing that he did, but you could tell me.
Sure, tell me the good thing. I don't know many of those.
So you know that the Bureau of Land Management, right? They grant contracts for people to drill. Yeah.
You mean like drilling on federal land? The fact that he's opened up more drilling on federal land?
So I don't support him drilling on public and federal land like towards like national parks and stuff. I don't
That's
support
exactly what they're doing. They're trying to not only drill on national park, but they're trying to actually sell off that land as well.
I did see that, but I support the fact that he's trying to open more wells in the Gulf of Mexico.
Okay.
But what? So whenever you sign a contract, right? I mean, this like if I've looked at these numbers, like I've studied on this, and what people in the industry have told me because I do have some family members. I have talked to people, and towards the end of Obama, we created less barrels of oil, right? Trump re-signed some contracts. 2020 bust happened, and then Biden.
What was the 2020 bust?
So oil and gas, right? So the barrels of oil they normally sell for like $70 to $80 a barrel. That's the prime number. During 2020 with COVID, the bust happened.
C19.
It was 19.
No, I'm saying C19. Call it C19.
C19.
TikTok friendly language.
Oh, C19. That happened, and then I don't know if it was caused by COVID. I'm pretty sure it was. C19. Sorry, I thought you were talking about. Don't say bust. My bad.
No. We can't say the actual word. It's TikTok friendly language, but you got it.
Yeah. So, sorry. C19. So that happened, and then Kamala and Joe got into office. They went back on their word, and they drilled more oil towards the end, towards 2023 and 2024. A lot of rigs opened up. Like I've been offshore a couple times. I remember from 2022 there was a lot of rigs that were active, but they weren't drilling. And then going back up there again, I saw a lot of drilling rigs.
Yeah.
So I'll give him credit where it's there, but that's how the contracts work. That Trump signed the contracts, and then people were continuing to re-sign it.
Yeah. So let's take a whole step back because you mentioned that prime number of selling oil at the cost of $70 to $80 prime. It sounds like what's like the danger zone for us. Where do we want it to not go below?
We don't want it to go below. I'm pretty sure it's 50.
60.
50 is like really bad.
Yeah, 60. Once it starts going below $60 a barrel, that is an indicator that a recession is looming. Now, what's interesting about the time frame that you mentioned, and that's why I said, hey, do you know about the OPEC Plus deal? The OPEC Plus deal actually caused what you were just talking about, right? So Donald Trump went to the Saudi Arabia, but the Middle Eastern countries, and was like, hey, I want you guys to reduce the cost of oil per barrel, and specifically said that because of C19, because he wanted to actually have them reduce it, right? His oil baron buddies were losing money because the country, or I'm sorry, the world was shut down. People weren't driving. So people weren't driving. They weren't buying gas. Gas was like, whatever. And so they wanted them to cut the prices. And they said, nope. OPEC said, nope, we're not cutting the prices. And so Donald Trump actually threatened to remove military support for the Middle Eastern countries unless they signed a deal to reduce said costs. And so once they did that, at the same time, and I'm sorry, Donald Trump got them to sign a 2-year deal to reduce oil production for 2 years, even though he was telling people that C19 was only going to last 2 weeks, right? At the same time, Texas, Greg Abbott and Jared Kushner were negotiating a deal with the Saudis to sell off our biggest oil refinery in Texas. So they sold multiple oil refineries, but the biggest one that we have in Texas, at the same time that Trump convinced OPEC to actually, well, not convinced, but threatened them to drop that oil production. And so they dropped the oil production, which then actually, once they realized that Americans, and when everything opened back up, they realized Americans would actually buy the gas at the higher prices regardless, then they were like, why would we actually reduce the cost? Right? So Trump got them to actually reduce the amount they were producing, which shortened the supply, which when it opened back up, supply demand, there was little supply, high demand, price goes up. They see that people are willing to buy the price, even though they can make more. When they ramped it back up, they were like, we're still going to keep these prices, right? But then Joe Biden and Kamala Harris came in and said, hey, Joe Biden's like, OPEC, I need you to drop these prices. OPEC's like, nah, G, they paying for it. And so Joe Biden said, all right, you want to get on some old gangsta-ish. So Joe Biden then actually flooded the market with our oil reserves, actually flooding the market with our oil reserves and dropping the cost per barrel to a point where OPEC had to actually reduce the prices. And then Joe Biden, after flooding the market with the oil reserves and getting oil prices to drop, which dropped gas prices, he then went back and bought all of our oil reserve back because he flooded the market, dropped the price, bought all the supply back at a cheaper rate. And it allowed him to continue to keep drilling.
What you're saying is correct because during 2016 to 2019, so my uncle's job literally just revolves around how good the oil industry is doing because he sells barrels, right? So 2016 to 2019, he was doing way better than he was during the end of Obama's term. And then as soon as C-19 hit, I literally remember like they were talking about like pulling, because in Louisiana there's not very good public schools, so my cousins have to go to private schools because they're fortunate enough. They were talking about pulling them out of the private school, having to send them to public school because of how bad it got. Like they were losing a lot of money, and then he started doing better around, I think it was 2020, like the end of 2021. He started doing much better, and he was ecstatic whenever Trump got elected, just due to his job. So that's like he told me directly. Someone in the field said that Trump's going to make it better.
Yeah. But that's what they thought, right? It was a causation fallacy because a lot of things that you talk about how like the contracts happen and how it takes time and then they continue to renew. A lot of people don't realize that like when certain members of government do things, it doesn't happen immediately. It takes time. And then they attribute whatever those things are to the actual president that's in power. Fun fact, Donald Trump passed the TCJA his first term, right? And the TCJA actually just it's up for renewal now, right? And they're trying to pass it with this quote unquote big beautiful bill. But when he first passed it, everyone was like, "Oh snap, we get tax cuts," right? And so people were seeing as far as an increase in their tax returns, but it was set up on a sliding scale where towards the end of the 8 years, when Trump was getting ready to get out of office, he thought that he was going to be a two-term, back-to-back president, that the actual prices started to rise and people started paying or average Americans started paying more in taxes. And so that's why for the last couple of years, people were like, oh, taxes suck under Joe Biden. They were good under Trump. Yeah, it was actually made that way. The policy was wrote so towards the end of his actual term that it would start to get bad and then the next person would get the blame for it.
I have a question about that. So, just letting you know, I would take Obama over Trump any day. Okay. Was Trump's economic success from 2016 to 2019 due to Obama, or was it due to his policies?
What policies?
Like I don't know the policies. That's why I'm asking.
And no, and see that's why I gave you that question. And if you want the answer, all you got to do is say what policy that Donald Trump passed to actually do anything for the economy, right? This is the thing that people get hung up on. They say, "Oh, the economy was great under Donald Trump." Yeah, it was. But he didn't actually do anything to make the economy better. I mean, like all he really had to do was keep coasting. But what he actually did was pass the TCJA, which started to have a negative impact. right? Because it had those sliding metrics, which had more impact the longer it went on. But he didn't Donald Trump got in office in January of 2017. Within a couple of months, Donald Trump had a press conference saying that this is the greatest economy in the world due to him. He immediately took credit for the economy because he knew how good it was, and also he hadn't done anything. And the way that anyone actually impacts the actual economy is through policy and also through the different measures and actions that they take. Now, there's other factors, right? I mean, like war is a factor and all this other stuff, which I'm going to get to in a second. But Donald Trump didn't pass any type of legislation. They didn't pass anything. The only thing they passed in his first term that's of note is the TCJA.
I honestly, I had that thought before that, because to be honest, in my top presidents of all time, I probably put Obama in the top 5.
Mm.
The only thing that I think Obama did wrong was I believe that he created a little bit more division. But
why?
That's about it.
How did he create division?
So this is not coming from a white guy, right? This is not coming from a white guy.
Just say it. You and I both know. Come on now.
So the reason why I believe that is because that my coworkers, which are they're very melanated individuals from Baton Rouge, right?
Mm-hmm.
They told me that before Obama, there wasn't much of this racial division, but then after Obama, it just immediately ramped up.
Yep. Hey, you ever heard of the term blacklash?
No.
Yeah. So the term blacklash is specifically used as why Donald Trump became the president of the United States. The country was so upset that they had to spend 8 years with a black man as their president, that there was a quote unquote blacklash, and they immediately swung all the way to the opposite end, even though Barack Obama was one of the most successful presidents in our history, which, I mean, he implemented things that still stand today. I mean, the Affordable Care Act, like the Republican Party has tried to get rid of the Affordable Care Act over 60 times and have been an absolute failure because it's so successful. I mean, they put a poison pill in it and they still couldn't get rid of it. So with that being said, Barack Obama did so much to actually benefit the country, but he was a black man. And that was the problem. When you talk about racism and you talk about a racial divide, racism has always been here. This country was literally, hey, Blaine, who's the Constitution written for?
It was written for white men, and Thomas Jefferson tried to I remember that in school I learned this. Thomas Jefferson tried to put it in there that told him no, to make every man and woman equal, correct?
I don't know. I'd have to go back and do my checks on that one.
I know that it was written for white people.
No, and the only reason I say no is because you're not being specific enough.
So, wait, can you get a little bit more specific?
Sure. The Constitution was written for white men that own land. That was a caveat. You had to be a landowner, right? In order to have representation, in order to have the full access to the origination of the Constitution, you had to be a white man that owned land. Everyone else after that got their rights added into the Constitution. That's why we have the amendments. That's why we have the articles, all this other stuff. So this country has always been a racist, sexist country since its conception. And with that being said, over the almost 250-year history, with now 47 presidents, there's been one black man as a president. Blaine, do you think over 250 years there's only been one black man that was qualified enough to be the president of the United States?
No, there's way more.
Yeah. So again, it was a backlash. It was an instance where people were so upset that a actual black man was lifted to the highest office in the land, and they actually showed up and showed out, and it was even present in this past election. Do you know what happened with the voting breakdown for this past election?
No. But I mean, what I see with my eyes is that my coworkers, like, listen, I'm not trying to like say, oh, just because I work with black guys, I love. I'm not saying
I hear
that.
you. No, you're good. I'm not.
But
We're
I mean,
not
I
going
do
there
work with predominantly African American men, right?
yet. Hmm.
They all mess with Trump a lot, like that. But their main thing is Trump's a dick, but I mess with him. That's what they said.
Well, that's just because of access to the patriarch, right? It's a lot of misogyny. There's a lot of black men that have a lot of unpacking to do when it comes to misogyny. They look at Trump and they look at him as someone with strength, and they look at his actual the fact that he can get away with anything, he can say anything, he can do anything, and he's not held to any type of standard is appealing to some people, right? And it was appealing to certain black men because black men actually voted for Donald Trump at a higher clip than recent as far as any other Republican. But that's not even the point, though. The one thing that I was trying to tell you as far as like the voting breakdown, white men came out and voted for Donald Trump at a higher clip than they have ever voted before. More white men voted for Donald Trump than ever any other Republican president. And that's because Kamala Harris, with her inflection of intersectionality, being a black woman, threatened those white men in their access to the patriarch. That's why more white men came out and voted for Donald Trump than any other president.
I see.
Yep.
But I mean, coming from a conservative man, it does feel oftentimes that like if I say I'm conservative, I'm immediately just torn down, right?
Yeah, I get
for
it.
being a conservative man.
I get it. Let me ask you a question. What are you conserving?
I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm called a conservative. I mean, more. I feel
No,
like
I mean, I know what
more,
your call, but what are you actually? Because you sound like a pretty young guy. How old are you?
I'm 18 years old.
You're 18. You're 18. What are you conserving at 18?
I don't know.
Yeah.
Would that make me an independent?
The titles are funny, right? I mean, like conservative, liberal, blah 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 blah. What's your value? Like, what's important to you?
What's important to me, like the most important to me, will probably never ever change, and that's actually fixing broken systems. But that'll never change.
Listen, the reason why broken systems will quote unquote never change is because a lot of people they're unwilling to be the change that they want to see, right? And so when you talk about like the quote unquote broken systems, I know certain broken systems that I absolutely want to see abolished, which is like the systemic racist systems that still oppress black people today, including the medical system, the educational system, environmental practices, all of these different things, right? But the one thing that I know is that I don't call myself a Democrat. I definitely don't call myself a liberal. I call myself a leftist because I am further left as far as wanting to see a lot of people get a lot of things that would help everyone versus saying like I need to conserve anything. And with that being said, the Democratic Party is the only party that is actively doing anything to try to fix anything, right? The Republican Party over the last 60 years has not passed a piece of legislation that overwhelmingly benefits the majority of average Americans.
Mm-hmm.
But the Democratic Party has. And that's just my point. Like the Democratic Party has its flaws, but when it comes to like the actual progress of our country, which you're 18, I would definitely say you would want to look at progress. Right? I mean, you have your whole future ahead of you, and you would want a planet that's still here, that has clean water, that has clean air. You should want a planet that's not riddled with war. You should want a planet or even a country where you can buy a house, because as of right now, it's going to be harder for you to buy a house than it was for your grandparents to buy a house. And that's directly connected to not only the Republican Party, but Donald Trump. Donald Trump, in his first stint as president, removed certain regulations that kept these big companies like BlackRock from being able to buy up single family homes. And so that's why a lot of these single family homes across the country are sitting vacant, because Donald Trump rolled back those actual regulations that kept those companies from being able to come in and immediately buy and also overspend for it. The Conservative Party, the Republican Party, Donald Trump specifically, they have like shot your future.
And what you said earlier, though, the main system that I would like to see changed is probably the welfare system is mainly what I'm talking about. I feel like the welfare system. So I've seen it with my own eyes, right? My coworkers, right? They one of them joined the National Guard just so he can give benefits. One of them, he has a wife and kids. He's doing stuff right. Okay. Keep in mind, okay, they're African American. I've said that now, but I've had this conversation with them. They feel more penalized for trying to start a family, and they're working like 6 days a week. They feel more penalized for trying to start a family and get a better life than to, do the opposite. Understand where I'm coming from?
No, listen, I understand. I mean, we live in a country where the people that work the hardest are often given the least. But when you talk about the policies that are passed, look at the party that's passing the policies that do that, right? I mean, when you talk about, even you talk about this quote unquote big, beautiful bill, right? They're looking to increase the age to be able to access like Social Security, right? So the retirement age. They're looking to reduce the amount of people that get access to Medicaid, right, which is healthcare. They're looking to reduce the amount of people that get access to food assistance, right, with SNAP benefits. They're trying to take away all of these things that people actually need to live. There's people. Did you know that Walmart is a company that makes billions of dollars every year, and they have a large amount of their lower level employees on food assistance. They work and they still have to get food assistance because Walmart does not pay a living wage. That's a problem. And the Republican Party, Donald Trump, they continue to empower those corporations by giving them tax cuts while passing that burden on to those same employees that already can't, make a living wage. But then Donald Trump puts on tariffs, which raises prices. And those people who need the food assistance, he takes away their actual ability to food assistance while raising their prices while they're not actually making any money. And it starts to not only just destroy the system, it destroys Americans.
Food assistance is also one of the things that I think should be torn down and rebuilt again. That's one of the systems that I extremely dislike.
Sure, but think about this. Who's talking about rebuilding it?
No, I don't. I've never heard the Democrats or the Republicans talk about rebuilding it.
That's fair.
Because
that's fair. But again, the thing is that Donald Trump is looking to take away things without having any plan in place. That's my problem with Donald Trump, with the Republican Party. They look to take things away without having anything in place to help people. Perfect example. How do you feel about us going to war?
I joined because I saw the more war, and then you asked me. I mean, I have a whole different opinion on what just happened last night.
Well, I don't want to get into it because I want to, Buddy Mama, are you there? Buddy Mama, you have to come back into the app. If you can't see me, we can't. There we go. Buddy Mama, are you a Trump supporter?
Yes, I am.
Okay, perfect. Give me 1 second. I don't want to get too much into it because I'm gonna go ahead and talk to Buddy Mama. But I want to say the reason why I said that, Blaine, is because Donald Trump pulled us out of the nuclear deal that we had with Iran, and when he pulled us out, he then gave a direct line of cover for Israel to say, hey, Iran is making nuclear weapons and now we fear, so we have to bomb them, right? So if he wouldn't have done that, or if he would have had a plan, because the reason why he pulled us out of the plan, I mean, you can speculate. I think it was because he didn't like the black man. But at the very least, if he would have had some type of plan in place to ensure that even if he didn't like that deal, there's some type of deal to keep Iran from trying to make nuclear weapons, then we wouldn't be here today. That's the problem. They do things without a backup plan, and then they leave a whole mess.
We've been leaving a mess in the Middle East for years, and I'm gonna let another person talk.
You talk to me for a second.
Hold on one second, buddy, mama. I'm Blaine's getting ready to get out of here, and then I'm gonna talk to you. Okay? Just one second.
I'm gonna let Buddy talk. But I would like to say to you the things we just covered. Right.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not seeing either side do it, but whenever me and you have a conversation, it seems like that normal people are actually the only ones who want to make change, and that's what I want to problem.
That's the freaking problem. We can talk more about it, but yeah. Listen, I appreciate you coming on.
My name. Have a good night. I love that you were respectful.
Yeah, for sure. Give me a follow. I feel like you and I got more meat on the bone to talk about stuff.
Yeah. So I'm gonna give you a follow, and hope you have a good night.
All right, you as well. Thank you. Guys, real quick. W's in the chat for Michael. Michael sent $100 donation over on YouTube and said, this is for Corey. Michael, you are freaking awesome. Thank you so much for that $100 donation. And then Gucci sent a $20 donation and said, for Corey, guys. And then Ashley sent a $6 donation and said, prayers for Corey. Guys, that means that now, out of our $500 goal, we've raised $326. We still only have $174 left in this mutual aid goal that we're trying to achieve for Corey. For those who don't know what I'm talking about, Corey, one of our mods, one of the most amazing people in our community, she needs our help. She absolutely needs our help, and we need to step up to help her. I'm going to read this message off. This is directly from Corey. Hi, I'm Corey, a single mother with a 4-year-old daughter. We had to evacuate our home because of nearby wildfires and are currently staying in a hotel. We just bought our home last August, and this has been a huge financial and emotional strain. One of our pets was rescued, but we haven't been allowed back to get the other 2. We're hoping to raise $500 to cover the cost, an immediate multiple-day hotel stay along with food and necessities. Any support truly means the world to us right now. So guys, if you have it, please, please, please send a donation. Let's come together. Let's help our community. Let's help the people that need it. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support Corey. We need to raise another $174 so we can help Corey. If you can chip in, anything will help. If you got $1, send $1, whatever. Anything will help. All right. Buddy Mama, how are you?
How are you?
Good. Got a question for you.
I love it.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Question for you, Buddy Mama. Which one did you vote for? Did you vote for more war, higher prices, less freedom, the love of isms and phobias, or did you vote because you just want a king? Which one of those things tickled your fancy?
You are funny. I voted for none of those actually. So you asked me if I voted for Trump, which I did. Can I ask you where you live?
Washington State.
Washington State. Okay. And so I just wanted to talk just a few things. Listen, I'm not privy on here. I'm not really, I'm old. I'm not good on social media. I really don't know how all of this works, but my girlfriend kind of told me about listening in. And honestly, I just kind of wanted to share some thoughts with y'all that some of the facts that are not being spoken about. Everybody says that if you don't mind, I'm just going to say a few things. You can cut me off whenever
Sure,
you'd
you
like.
got it. I'm actually kind of really interested. Let me just say this real quick. W's in the chat for Brenda. Brenda sent a $24 donation for Corey. Thank you so much for that $24 donation, Brenda. You're freaking kind. You're freaking amazing. You are awesome. Guys, we only need $150 more to go towards the actual goal that we have for mutual aid for Corey. Again, she is being affected by wildfires, her 4-year-old daughter, her pets. Anything that you guys can chip in will help. All right, go ahead.
Okay. So just some of the things that I heard that you had said that are just, I 100% don't believe are true. Actually, facts will speak for themselves. When you speak about Trump, you said that hates, the black man, which is not
When did I say
the
Trump
case.
hates the black man?
Yeah, you said that a few minutes ago.
I said Trump hates the black man?
Mm-hmm.
Me? Chat, am I tripping? Did I say Trump hates the black man? Trump is racist, but I don't remember saying that. But I'll grant it to you. Yeah, Trump hates the black man.
Okay.
Go. I'll absolutely give it to you. Yeah, Trump hates the black man. Go.
I believe that you said that because it's apologies if you did not.
No. I mean, I was thinking it. I didn't say it, but I mean,
okay. Well,
like you got it.
Okay. So,
oh wait, you're talking about. Oh wait, were you talking about Obama? Because he absolutely hates that black man, but he hates black people in period. And well, in general. Well, yeah, I wouldn't say hate because I don't know his heart, but he's definitely racist. Anyway, go ahead.
You think that Trump is racist?
Absolutely.
Okay, so he is the one that made Juneteenth a national holiday.
No, he didn't.
Yes, he did.
No, he didn't.
And do you know what he did for HBCUs?
No. When was Juneteenth signed into law? What year?
Under Trump. I'm not 100% sure. And again, I don't.
No, it's not. Okay. Actually, look it up.
Okay, you can fact check me. That's fine.
Sure.
Do you know what he did for HBCUs?
No. We're not gonna move. Wait. No, we're not gonna move off that. You're not gonna say that and then just try to skate past it. Juneteenth became a federal holiday in 2021. Who was president in 2021?
That is after he had already put
Who was president in 2021?
Well, shouldn't have been.
Who was president in 2021?
But he didn't make it. It was the bill that was put under Trump.
Who was president in 2021?
Okay, so you're going to give him credit.
First of all, you didn't even know when the actual Juneteenth was signed into. Sure. Okay. When did the bill start getting cultivated?
Okay. I will look that up. But
no, because you're not going to skate past it. You said it, so we're going to actually deal with it.
Okay. All right. Well, let's talk about HBCUs.
No. We're not going to talk about that yet. I need you to slow down. Hold on. Slow down. Give me a second. Nope. Oh, we are. We're going to get all into it. Hold on. Give me 1 second.
All right. Let's go.
Yep. As a matter of fact, hold, please.
Oh, please.
All right, perfect. So the bill that was passed that it's Juneteenth National Independence Day Act, Pub L 117-17. Let's see here. When did this start?
Do you know that he is the first person to ever acknowledge Juneteenth in 2017?
Yes, he is. Not.
He issued a statement calling it a historic
in
day
2017. No, he didn't. So as far as this bill, let's see here. Who was it put up by? When was it started? Let's see. This is what I'm looking for.
You keep muting me, but he issued.
Oh, I didn't mute you. Okay. So listen, the actual bill. The bill was introduced by Senator Markey Edwards. Senator Markey Edwards from Massachusetts, and it was introduced on February the 25th, 2021.
2021. You're absolutely right. But
So
Donald Trump is the first one that acknowledged it in 2017.
Who was the president on February 25th, 2021?
You won't give Trump credit for actually.
Why would Trump get any credit? He had nothing to do with it.
Did you even know what Juneteenth was before?
Yes, because I'm black. Did you know what it was?
Yes, I did.
Sure you did. Okay, cool. Tell me about Juneteenth. What is Juneteenth?
Oh my God.
Tell me.
Wow. Okay.
Tell me.
This is absolutely. I mean, it's the end of
No.
slavery.
No. You just said, did I even know about Juneteenth? I said, yes, I did because I'm black. I said, did you know about Juneteenth? You said, of course I did. And now tell me about Juneteenth, white lady.
Wow, you just assumed that.
Go for it. No, I can see your profile picture and I can hear it in your voice. Anyway, tell me about Juneteenth.
Wow. I mean, this is absolutely incredible.
Tell me about Juneteenth. I don't want to hear you whine and cry. I want you to tell me about Juneteenth. Tell the black man up here what you know about Juneteenth.
Trump and how terrible he is.
I hear you. Tell me what you know about Juneteenth. Hey, lady, lock in. Tell me what you know about Juneteenth. Yep. So, like I said, Donald Trump doesn't get any credit for Juneteenth, making it a federal holiday because, one, the bill was introduced under Joe Biden and it was signed into law under Joe Biden. And you don't get to tell me about Juneteenth when you don't actually know what it is. You just wanted to actually use it as a talking point. Boom. Anyway, next point.
I wanted to prove to you that he was not racist.
Yeah, but
also, do you know what he did for HBCUs?
Yeah, we're gonna let's move on. Hold on. Let's move on to HBCUs. Right? Because sure. And just a fun fact, before you go down this road, white lady, I just want you to know, hi, Santana, graduate from an HBCU. Yeah, I know a lot about HBCUs. Not only do I know a lot about HBCUs, I know a lot about what Donald Trump did for HBCUs or didn't do. So cool. Go ahead.
I'm pretty sure that I know about them.
Go. Okay. You said what?
Yeah, don't worry.
No. What was that comment? You did what?
I'm an athletic trainer.
You did what?
Yeah, exactly. So
what did you say? I can't understand what you're saying.
What'd you say?
I would like for you to enunciate. What did you just say? I mentioned him in dinner. That's what it sounded like. No one knows what you said, lady. Did you say you were a trainer?
Can you not hear me?
No, I'm telling you, I couldn't understand what you just said.
Yeah. Well, I must have a bad connection because I'm speaking very clearly.
You don't have a bad connection. Just repeat what you said. You weren't enunciating. So enunciate what it was you said so that we can understand you. Hey, bro, do you want to hear more about Trump and Juneteenth?
No.
You want to wait for her to answer?
Not yet. I'm waiting for the white lady's answer.
The white lady still in the room with us?
Embarrassing. You had all that conversation while I was talking, but when you had the floor, you had nothing to say. Hey, buddy mama, are you there? Buddy mama going once. Buddy mama going twice. Karen, don't go. You're getting ready to tell me about how Trump isn't racist. You're getting ready to tell me about how Trump did so much for black people and HBCUs. I can hear you moving in the background. You're just sitting there quietly. We know you're still there. You're cooked. You can just take the L and leave. Why are you being quiet? That's weird. You know what? I'm gonna put you on mute and make you stay. I'm gonna put you on mute and make you stay. And you're gonna get this black ass education. E, before you tell Buddy Mama more about Donald Trump and Juneteenth, W's in the chat for Laura. Laura sent a $5 donation for Corey. And W's in the chat for Jesse. Jesse sent a $2 donation saying she's either about to slur worse than Porky Pig or become one of the world's best. I'm not gonna say all that, Jesse. Yeah, she is gonna try to make excuses for Jimothy. Anyway, W's in the chat for both Jesse and for Laura. Guys, what happens is the donations that were just sent, both of those go to Corey. Corey's one of our mods. She actually needs help. She has an emergency situation. She's been affected by wildfires in her area. And she needs to raise $500 so she can get immediate assistance to stay in a hotel. So because she had to evacuate her home. So guys, if we could, we're only $143 away from being able to help Corey out. So if you can donate, please do so. Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support Corey. E, go ahead. Erica, are you there?
I'm still here. Hi. I was just pulling a Trump, what's her name? Buddy Mom. Oh, no. Okay. So she's not smart enough to actually do this, but.
You've been programming in a box for those 3 years. I say only 3 years.
Why your background noise always like a ruckus? But what it is that Trump did issue, like every other president, a proclamation on June 19th every year discussing the history and the importance of Juneteenth. But Trump never advocated for or pushed for it to be a federal holiday. That was under Joe Biden's administration in 2021. The question that I wanted to ask her was going to be why the sudden change from Donald Trump in regards to Juneteenth this year, saying basically that, we get a holiday for everything. I wanted to know that, but Buddy Mom isn't going to answer that. Why the racist comments this year? What's changed for him?
Mask off. That's it.
There we go.
Hey, Mark.
Okay.
Mark, are you a Trump supporter? Sending you a request to come off mute, bud. Mark, are you a Trump supporter? Mark? All right, Mark, I'm going to go ahead and drop you. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana 101 debates with Trump supporters. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. And holy fucking crap. Massive W's in the chat for Megan. Megan sent a $143 donation to say, no, it's Becky on TikTok. My bad, Becky. $143 donation for Corey to close out the goal. Listen, you guys are so freaking amazing. Thank you so much. We were able to raise the money that we were looking to raise for Corey and the mutual aid. You guys are so amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. Absolutely. W's in the chat for the chat. Also, W's in the chat for Jesse, who sent a $2 donation saying, I can't do the voice, but in his smoky voice, Buddy Mama gonna cry in the car. You know it. Thank you so much. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Mike, are you a Trump supporter?
I am.
All right, Mike and E, you're good. Your call. Welcome in, Parker Raid. If you just came in, tap the screen, share the live, do all the wonderful things. Let TikTok know we're in the building. If you have not sent your daily heart me, go ahead and send it. It's only one coin. It will help boost the live and push us out to the FYP. And also, if you would like to support Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything is appreciated. We are only looking for debates. We are only looking for Trump supporters. Hey, Mike, got a question for you.
Sure.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Mike, what did you vote for? Did you vote for more war, higher prices, less freedom, the love of the isms and phobias, or did you vote for a king?
Honestly, I don't think I vote for any of those things.
Really?
My my parents were always kind of Republican, so I was kind of always led in that direction.
I hear
Uh,
you. Thank you for the cake.
and like probably personally, I probably have some more Democratic viewpoints, but probably not really able to like express them because this is a very Republican household. Uh,
So wait, are you saying that you only voted for Trump because your parents wanted you to?
Partially. I mean, I support Trump on some things.
What are the things?
Um, I mean, I like what he did with the border. And before you
What do you do with the
say
border?
the what's it called? I like how it was like a little more secure.
How was it more secure? What did he do with the border?
Wasn't it like harder to like get in
Why
during
was it harder
like
to get in?
uh yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it was harder to get in because of was it Title 42?
Is it like the Remain in Mexico Act or something?
No, Remain in Mexico did nothing. What it was the fact that Donald Trump was actually allowed to shut down the border to a pandemic. Like quite literally, he was able to shut down the border because we had a worldwide issue. That's the only reason. Prior to that, border crossing numbers were up under him. And then once he was able to quote unquote shut down the border due to the pandemic, Joe Biden took over and even petitioned to be able to keep Title 42. And the Supreme Court said, nope, pandemic is over. You got to open the border back up. And all those people that had been waiting to come in came in. So it wasn't that Donald Trump actually did anything. I mean, hell, like he didn't actually, like, you take a look at what he's doing right now. He's actually deporting people at a lower clip than Joe Biden did.
I mean,
And
I don't support like ICE going around and like rounding up people without due process. I don't think that's what we should be doing. I think everybody should. But I would think, I don't know if this is the liberal view or not, but I think that there should be an easier way to get citizenship for people that are coming in illegally, only if they don't have like violent.
literally what you're saying goes against the person that you voted for.
He voted for Trump? I missed
Yeah.
that part.
Yeah, he did.
You voted for Trump? And
Yeah, but
your stance.
I'm sort of regret right now.
Okay, what didn't you know prior to voting for him?
Also,
Because
you
we
might
had
have
these
missed this part. His parents are heavy MAGA, right? They're super
Oh,
conservative,
how
and
old
he
are
felt
you?
pressured
Yeah,
to actually
like my
vote for Trump.
full family's MAGA, and like you try to like I'm not afraid to say that like
How old are
to
you?
say that I have some Democratic views, but like my whole family, and I have the big family, the they're like heavy Christian MAGA kind of thing.
Okay,
So
how old are you?
18.
Oh, okay. All right, it makes sense. You're a young person.
Mm.
Okay. All right, I won't be too hard on him.
Well, this
He's
is
young.
what we're gonna do. This is what we're gonna do. Because like, I genuinely appreciate your perspective. Don't want to be too hard on you, right?
Exactly.
I don't want to be too hard on you, but I don't know. Peaches, are you a Trump supporter? Peaches, are you a Trump supporter? All right, I'm going to drop you down. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana, one-on-one debates with Trump supporters. We are looking for only Trump supporters. Only Trump supporters. We're only looking for some debates. So please, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. If you're in the box and you don't know that you're in the box, check and make sure, because I think there's a lot of people that are there that don't know that they're there. And I'm trying to get through the list. Tino, are you a Trump supporter? Tino, are you a Trump supporter? I don't think that
Tino don't know they're here.
Exactly, guys. Tap the screen, share the live, check and make sure you know. Only get in the box if you are a Trump supporter. We are looking for some debates. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. If you're not a Trump supporter, get out of the box. If you're not a Trump supporter, get out of the box. Hi, partner. Rage, are you a
What's up?
Trump supporter?
I am.
Okay. Was it Shelly Caesar? What was that? Hold on.
Shells?
Yeah. Shells and cheese. Are you a Trump supporter?
I'm not, but I wanted to tell you about something to help out your mod. Holly, was it?
Corey,
her
but
name?
I think.
yeah.
Corey, I'm so sorry.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry.
mean, so can you do this? If you could get with Kay. Kay, can you say hi in the chat? If you can get with Kay,
Yeah,
that
I'll
that
send
would be
him a
super helpful.
message.
Thank you so much.
Okay, yeah, yep, will do.
All right,
I'll
perfect.
watch for them.
Thank you.
All right.
Wait, so
Guys,
can I
if
say
you don't mind, mute Trinity. Don't block her. Just mute her. Hey, Mike, listen. I'm not gonna be too hard on you, but I'm gonna go ahead and drop you down though. Okay?
Wait, I have a question.
Sure.
Yeah, so I think the main reason why I came up here is because I just kind of want to be a little more educated
Yeah,
on,
I understand. That's why I said I didn't want to be too hard on you. That's why I was going to drop you down. You can listen from the chat, and I appreciate you. I just had like a really long educational conversation with another young man. I'm really looking for someone who, stands firm in their beliefs. But like, hang tight. I promise you. You'll learn for sure.
All right, I just want to thank you and thank the chat
thank you.
for being welcoming and like
Absolutely.
not.
Can I just say one thing to him?
Sure.
All right. One thing about being an adult is standing for what you believe in.
Absolutely.
All right. If you believe that voting for Donald Trump goes against what you believe in as a person, you have to have the courage and the integrity to do what you feel is the right thing. Remember, in the future, they're not in the voting booth with you. That's all I wanted to tell you.
Yeah,
Your vote is yours.
And that's what I was about to say. I mean, if you stood on those convictions, then that would be a different subject. But feeling pressure to do anything in any way, shape, or form as an adult, you should never have to do that. And I know it's a learning thing. And as you get older, you'll start to deal with it more. But that's why I said I don't want to be too hard on you. So I appreciate
I
you.
would vote for Harris if based on my personal opinions, but it was just kind of hard because of pressure from my parents.
I understand like family pressure. Like I get all of that. So, but anyway, listen, stick around. I promise you. And if there's any questions that aren't answered that you have, you can reach out and we'll try to get those questions answered for you. All right.
All right. Thanks, guys.
Perfect. Thank you. All right, Rage. Are you a Trump supporter with conviction?
I am.
All right, got a question for you.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Which one did you vote for? Did you vote for more wars, higher prices, less freedom, the love of the isms and phobias, or did you vote for a king?
I didn't vote for any of those, but if we want to talk about war, I have a specific question to ask you, my friend.
Sure.
So, were you pro the anti-ICE protests?
Wait, say it again. The question was worded kind of weird. Give it to me again. I felt like it was a trick question when I heard it.
Were you pro the anti-ICE protests?
Was I for the protests against the actions that ICE are taking? Yes.
Okay. So, quick question. Did you hear about the whole the new thing that's going around in the media right now where they're talking about Iranian sleeper agents in the U.S.?
Yeah, but it's a conspiracy theory at this point. I don't like to really speculate on conspiracy theories. I heard it, but I don't know, so I don't like to really until there. I'm someone who I don't get into those type of things online because I don't want to spread misinformation. I heard it, but I don't really feel comfortable talking too much about it.
Why do you want to talk about everything other than what's actually going on right now?
Hold on.
Okay.
Oh, because
go ahead. Where were you going with that, though, Rage?
So I've seen recently, in the last 4 or 5 hours, a bunch of TikToks on here from a bunch of different leftist creators saying that they're now worried about the possible threat of Iranian sleeper agents. To which I have to go, so we let over 11 million illegal immigrants into the country under the prior administration.
That number's wrong.
So you weren't worried then when specifically groups like IS, I'll shorten it, were legitimately saying in their own propaganda that they would use our asylum claims to get here to do key acts, and now you're worried.
You know what the flaw is in your logic as far as what you're saying? Asylum seekers have nothing to do with undocumented immigrants.
Really, because every other leftist stream that I've been on, they put the two together.
Sure,
like,
you may be saying that some people actually conflated it, or maybe just you actually mashing those two things together in your mind. But undocumented immigrants and asylum seekers are two different things. Asylum seekers are, for some reason, you guys like to say that, oh, we don't want them because they're just coming in and they're not doing the right way. Literally, they're the ones that are quote unquote doing it the right way. Literally, the ones that actually are supposed to be here and we have a record of. Now, undocumented immigrants are people that are coming in and they are not seeking asylum. They're not claiming asylum, and they are here without any type of knowledge of the federal government. So those are two different things. So that 11 million number that you threw out, that's for undocumented immigrants. It's not right, but that's for undocumented immigrants.
It's not even undocumented immigrants. It's for encounters at the border, and it wasn't 11 million. It was 10. And then okay. I just like
so Rage, tell me again what point you're trying to make here. Are you trying to infer that the people that have been led into the country are somehow a threat, but we didn't see it until there was an actual quote unquote threat?
No, I think that, majority of the right have been sitting there going, maybe we shouldn't, just let anybody in, and maybe we should actually vet people, especially those who are coming from places where we know have violent extremism.
But so when are the people on the left saying that we shouldn't let people in and vet them? Because, hey, fun fact, there was an actual bill that was pushed by the left that was set to be signed that would have did just that, would have expedited the process, created more jobs, right, for Border Patrol, more judges, more resources, including drones. And Donald Trump called his cronies in Congress and had that bill shot down, and has since then did nothing to actually address the border as far as any type of funding, as far as any type of actual infrastructure that would improve it, and definitely not to do anything to actually speed up the process of vetting people.
Well, there's two ways I'm gonna talk about that. So, you are aware that Democrats also voted down that bill, right?
When you say Democrats voted down that bill, yes, there were some Democrats that voted against it, but the majority of the people that actually voted down that bill were Republicans.
Right, so to specifically point and blame Republicans is a moot point.
No,
then.
well, it's moot, M-O-O-T, not mute, but it's not a moot point, because if the actual Republicans that originally said that they were going to pass the bill, that said they were going to vote for the bill prior to Trump getting involved, if they would have actually held and the Democrats would have still voted against it, then the bill would have passed. But even more than that, those Democrats that voted against the bill are Democrats that are in purple areas where they could actually be in jeopardy. So there are certain politicians, whether they're Republican or Democrat, they play both sides because of where they're located.
So what you're saying is it was done for political favor then?
For the Democrats that voted against it, absolutely. It
so
was actually done for political favor for both sides, because the Republicans that actually voted to it.
Right. So which, once again, the part that I had always find funny, and this is the second part that I was going to bring up to that, was it's within the same area. So Biden in his 4 years of being presidency could have put in an executive order to at least do something about AB, which I know you people are specifically highly in regards about.
What? Wait. How are you going from the border to AB?
Oh, because it's gonna tie together beautifully. Just listen. So you want to blame a bill that that you said, and I quote, the Republicans shot down, when it was both parties that shot it down. And it was almost, and you, to be fair, it was done as a political ploy because the Republicans could run on closing the border during president's term, right?
No, but keep going.
So that was usually the big talking point was, oh, well, they're trying to not have the bill passed to make Biden look bad, so that way when Trump comes in, they can push border bill.
Okay.
It's the same logic. Joe Biden had 4 years of his presidency to have done something about the overturning of Roe v. Wade, like putting in a executive order, or to have asked Congress to push a bill, which he didn't do either, because you guys, being the left or the Democratic Party, stood there and wanted to use that as a voting tactic, which turns out failed miserably in a good majority of states.
Yeah, okay. You're just wrong. Like I'm trying to let you speak, and hopefully like anything that you say will tie together, but like literally you're wrong. You're just like everything that you just said is like wrong. Just absolutely just wrong. So couple of quick things and then I'm going to pass it over to E. One, the actual border bill, it looks like here it was a yay versus nay along party lines. I'm looking at the specific split. But there were, let's see here. Hold the fucking phone. You're a liar. And I was wrong. I'm glad I looked this up. There was a 219 to 213 split. 219 to 213 split. And as far as yays versus nays, hold on, what is this? This is the roll call.
You want to talk about the Senate?
Border bill. Oh, okay. The Senate. Okay, not the House. That's where it is. Got it. Okay. Because it passed through the House. Yeah. I got it. All right. My bad. That's where it is. So it passed through the House, but it was the Senate where there were some actual, let me go back here, where there were some actual Democrats that voted against it. But with that being said, I don't even know what you're talking about as far as like the actual tying together with AB, but the bill specifically was introduced in February of 2021, right? A month after Joe Biden was in office. Why would he pass any type of executive order when there was literally legislation that was being worked on? Executive orders is not legislations. Donald Trump doesn't know how to govern, and that's why he always wants to sign executive orders. Executive orders are constantly shot down. Anywho, go ahead, E.
Okay.
You sound far away.
It's because my mic is far away. I had to turn this thing on. Is this better?
Yep.
I hope so. Okay. There's just so much misinformation that has just
a ton.
Been said
It was just
by
a
Rage.
ton.
Absolutely ridiculous. I'm about to ask him to say something factual, but I like to speak first. So, Rage, let me get this right. You're trying to link the fact that Donald Trump primaried one of the most extensive immigration policies that we have seen in this country since maybe about 1966, I believe it is. And you're trying to compare that to the Dems not passing any legislation on AB. That's what you're trying to do.
No,
You're
I'm
wrong.
trying to say is
all right.
that
When
both
was
political
When was
parties-
Roe v. Wade overturned?
Wasn't it during the Biden administration?
When was it
The Supreme
overturned?
Court
Give me
said-
a month and a year. Oh, this is how much you care about it. Okay.
It's a talking point. I'm sorry. Go
Okay,
ahead.
exactly. All right. Okay. It was June of 2022.
January,
It was June of
June
2022.
24th specifically.
Now tell us who gained control of the House in November of 2022.
Go ahead.
The Republicans, darling. Joe Biden did not have control of the House and the Senate going into the new Congress. The new Congress. The new Congress. He didn't have control of it. All right. So any bill, just like his immigration bills, would have been thwarted. We already know that, even if introduced. Also, Joe Biden knew that with the Supreme Court, because of the 3 picks that Donald Trump was able to seat, actually leaned. This is the same Supreme Court that overturned Roe. Do you think that if legislation would have been proposed by Joe Biden, and if miraculously passed to federalize abortion, that once taken to the Supreme Court to decide on and interpret that law, that they would not have just overturned it again? What would be the purpose of him actually doing so? Make it make sense.
Well, you see, because if you actually use your brain and both
First
parties
of all,
actually
I know I'm
sat
using my
there-
brain. How about you turn yours on?
That part.
Sweet. So if both parties actually, came to the table and agreed
Both
on
parties came
what
to
would
the
be-
table. The bill was actually led by a Republican. Try again.
Right, so I'm speaking specifically about the issue of AB, but if you had
Yeah,
both
this is
parties
all.
come to the
This is
table and
literally
make a
all conjecture and
bill-
hypothetical. It doesn't make any sense whatsoever what you're saying. You're just making up
No,
stuff
it's
to
not
try to have a
hypothetical,
talking
it's
point
an
here,
actual fact.
and
It's
your
how the fucking
argument
government
sucks.
works, but be
It
mad.
just sucks.
So, because if both parties came together and they actually made a bill that would have actually
We
done
saw
You
what
were
happened
just
when both
talking
parties
about
came together and
executive
tried to make a
orders.
bill.
But you don't want to. Why? Because it would lean too far against your political favor.
That's a damn lie. You know why that's
you
a damn
wouldn't
lie?
have a
Because
reason to
Kamala
make an
Harris
argument.
literally ran on working bipartisan, reaching across the aisle. She ran on that. Y'all didn't
Yeah,
want
while
that.
the entire 4 years.
Hold on,
of her
Rage. Hold on.
presidency, they
Hold
went
on.
after her
Hold
political
Rage.
opponents, but okay.
Rage. Hold on. Finish your point, Erica.
No, he said he's lying to everyone here. He's lying to all 768 people here. You're lying. That's
Yeah,
all there
and-
is to it. Because Kamala Harris literally ran on the fact that she likes to work across the aisle. Donald Trump was the one who was polarizing, yet you still voted for him. And now you're trying to tell us that, oh, they should come together. Boy, bye.
Also,
Firstly,
I mean, in
Kamala
order to
Harris wasn't
actually,
even elected.
also, in order to
She was-
actually, also, in order to actually,
She was coordinated.
also, in
The host
order
is
to
talking.
actually codify Roe, they would actually have to have a 60 vote.
Yeah.
This is not something you can pass along party lines, but it's weird how you're conflating the two. So I need you to be specific, Rage. Why are you talking about Roe and AB when we're talking about the border?
Well, you see, what I'm doing is that I'm pointing out hypocrisy.
No, you're not
Complaining
pointing
about-
out any hypocrisy
you're
because
complaining about
even
a
no.
bill.
The reason why you're not pointing out hypocrisy is because the
It is
Republican Party does not want to actually compromise on Roe, and they have never come to the actual table with a compromise for Roe. When we're talking about the border bill was led by a Republican, and both parties were at the table. So focus on the border bill because you have no footing with Roe.
Well, except for the fact that Roe was an illegal court decision to begin with, but
I don't
Boy,
want.
try again, Buttercup.
I literally don't want to hear
Really?
your thoughts on Roe. I want you to
Let's
talk
like
about the
slave
border bill,
prohibition.
Rage. You're conflating things because you don't have a point.
I'm waiting.
I'm waiting for you.
Is the Supreme Court supposed to legislate from the bench?
What does that have to do with the border bill?
I'm asking a question.
What does
But
that
I'm not
have to
getting an
do?
answer for it.
You keep doing that, but you're not actually answering what we're talking about.
I'm
Focus.
waiting.
Focus.
Well, because you rolled your eyeballs about the fact that I said that it was an illegal court decision, which it was.
I'm not talking
Surprise.
about Roe, Rage. We're not talking about Roe, Rage. This has
Rage.
nothing to do with
Hey,
Roe,
hey, Rage.
Rage.
Can you lock
We're
in?
talking about the border, Rage.
Rage, lock in. Lock in. All right? Lock in, okay? Talk about the border. That's what you initially brought up. Talk about it. Defend Donald Trump's actions. Go ahead. I know you can do it.
Okay.
Do it.
So what he's doing specifically is he's removing illegals who should not be here in the first place.
Undocumented immigrants. You've already heard me saying this.
Which
like
once again has
games.
been used. Which once again has been used to be used as both words because once again you want to make it less.
Hey, respect the host witches and
I'm
also
sorry.
mines and say undocumented immigrants.
Hey, 1 second. Double. Are you hold on 1 second. Hold on 1 second. Double. Are you a Trump supporter?
Yes.
You are. Hey, Rage. Fuck off. Guys, keep tapping the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Also, guys, if you would like to support myself or Erica, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links and link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. If you're over on YouTube and you would like to support the live, you can do so through a YouTube super chat. I don't think I said this, but what up, YouTube? What up, Twitch? If you're over on YouTube, make sure you're liking the stream. I just noticed we're not liking. Make sure you're liking the stream. You can donate, and we will go from there, guys. Only request up if you are a Trump supporter. We're only looking for debates. Double A. I got a question for you.
Yes, can you understand me, first of all?
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Yeah, I can understand. You said you voted for Trump?
Yes.
Okay. Let's level set for a second. Tell me why.
Because I thought we wasn't gonna, because I thought the first time was doing good. I really did. I actually enjoyed the first turn, and like last night, I do not agree with, but I cannot sit here and say, oh, I don't want to deport him because just the matter of the fact is, he's not going to get impeached. So, as an American, I think we should all try to make sure he makes the best decision from here on out.
Yeah. Listen, Double. So I'm gonna say this, and I think because the position that you're taking, I'm not, opposed to wanting the best for Americans. I mean, hell, honestly, I would like for Donald Trump to be successful, because I do see value in the actual president being successful, right? If Donald Trump can be successful, then that means that us as a country, we're successful. But the problem I have is that he's not necessarily doing anything to help everyday Americans. But I'm going to do this, Double, because it sounds like you and I aren't that far apart, and I am looking for someone that actually has strong conviction in some debates. So I appreciate you coming up, but I'm gonna drop you down, okay, friend?
Okay, thank you.
Thank you. I appreciate you for coming up.
Okay.
Thanks, Double.
Let's see here. Is it B Russ? B Russ he bought, or how do you say this?
That literally says beer.
I'm sorry, I threw it up. Beer. What do you want me to call you?
You can call me Jake, bro.
But you can also say B Russ he bought. Tell me it's not. But you can say beer us the bot. Or you can, I'm sorry, beer us the bot.
So it actually it actually stems from an anime called Dragon Ball. The one of the antagonists is named Beerus.
Beerus, I
play
see
a game called Fortnite, so I'm a bot. Yeah, Beerus the bot.
See, I got that.
You're way too sweet for allowing that guy to talk as long as he did. I didn't understand a word he said.
Whoa. Hey, Beerus, we're not gonna do that.
No, I'm just saying.
I need you to lock in for me, and I'm letting you know that you're crossing a boundary. Don't do it. Okay? We're gonna focus on the conversation that we're having here.
I
got it. No. I need you to hear what I'm saying. Respect the boundary that I just created. And if you can't have the conversation with us here right now, focusing on this, then you can't have a conversation with us at all. Are we good? Perfect.
I was just confused on what you were confused about.
Yeah. All right. So, did you vote for Trump?
No.
Okay, cool. Then fuck off.
Good day, sir.
What? No, well, I'm still agree.
Good day, sir.
Why would you request up?
I said good day. What's with people not being able to just respect boundaries and take correction?
Why would you request up if you're not a Trump supporter? If you didn't vote for Trump?
Exactly.
Guys, tap the screen. Let's go ahead and get the likes up to 200,000 likes. Let's get the shares up to 150 shares. Guys, only request up if you are a Trump supporter. Only request up if you're a Trump supporter. This is Sparring with Santana. I guess you'll never find out. You said that you didn't vote for Trump. Why would L host? First of all, you don't have. You know what? That's fine. Let's do this. Let's do this.
I have a request.
No, I got it. Hold on, because now I'm interested. Now he has my interest. I sent your request, Beerus.
Bro.
So, Beerus, why would you request up if you didn't vote for Trump?
You don't have to vote for the president to make sure that they at least have a fair chance of.
Who did you vote for?
It doesn't matter who the president is.
No. Who did you vote for? No, hold on, E. Who did you vote for?
So I have a question.
Beerus,
as soon as you.
Who did you vote for? Just answer the question.
Just for an answer.
Who did you vote for? So you know what's funny?
Never find out, man.
So you know what's funny?
Hey, Matt, ask
hold on,
him
E. Hold on. You know what's funny? This option right here is the one that he's taking. Crash out and run. Fucking crash out and run. He doesn't even know how to leave the app. He doesn't know how to leave the app. That's why you're still here. What are we even doing?
I just want to know who you voted for.
I do too. It's a simple question.
I was just thinking maybe if I ask him, he'll answer. Hi, Beerus.
You're still here. I know you hear us. You have to come back into the app or turn your phone off. Either way, slap nuts.
Guys, tap the screen, share the live, keep doing all of the good things. Just do all of the good things. Show TikTok you want to be here. Let's go ahead and clear out the donuts for Santana. All right, show all the love to his AI bot at the bottom. Do all the good things.
Kumquat. Are you a Trump supporter?
Kumquat.
Yeah, hello. Yeah, I support Trump.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yes.
How old are you?
I'm 28.
What year were you born?
No better.
97.
Okay. All right. Question for you, Kumquat. If you don't mind.
Yeah.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Which one did you vote for? More wars, higher prices, less freedom, the love of isms and phobias, or did you just want a king?
Ooh, that's tough. There's some good options here.
It is, right? Thank you.
Yeah. Well, I'll keep it topical, right? Because keep it topical. I'm for more wars. I'm excited. I found out recently that Iran has some oil there, and so this gives us a good opportunity to go take the oil. And yeah, I'm excited about that.
You know what? I'm sure you're like kind of being facetious, but at least you're being honest. I can respect the shit out of that. Not even gonna lie. Like, I mean, that's what it is. I can legitimately respect the shit out of that answer. Whether you're trying to be facetious or not, that's a real answer.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah, appreciate that. And it's true. Yeah, I do feel that way. This is how we used to do things, right? Like the Roman Empire. We would go and we would get resources. So we got to do again.
Yeah, I hear you. You weren't expecting that reply from me, were you?
No, I was not.
And now you're kind of off kiltered, huh?
Sure. Yeah.
Guess what?
You're gonna learn today.
I am not someone that you can just, kind of do the things that's going to cost the things. I hear you. Listen, the one thing that I can respect is someone being real about their ish. And whether you were trying to use it as rage bait or not, I mean, like, that's a legitimate thing. Like, literally the country in that area, I mean, that's what the first war was about, right? I mean, it's not far-fetched to think that that's what the second war is about. But my real question for you then is, like, what's your justification in the sense of putting American soldiers' lives on the line? Are you okay with that?
Yeah, good question. So, I mean, we definitely have to do a cost reward analysis here. And we have robots now, so I would like to send the robots in, and we should only have boots on the ground after the robots finish the job, so we can collect the oil, because I don't think we have automation for that. Hopefully we don't have to send any actual lives there.
But what if we do
for that?
What if we do? Because you do understand, like, and not only like sending people, right? You do understand the amount of current active duty military members that we have in the Middle East that are now in jeopardy. Like real life humans, real soldiers who, we're not just talking about Iran, we're talking about the different military bases all around the world and specifically in the Middle East that are now in jeopardy. Are you okay with putting their lives on the line?
Well, it kind of depends, right? If Russia gets involved, then this is a different conversation.
I think you're worried about the wrong country.
If it's just Iran, then
no. What I'm saying is you said Russia. Think bigger.
China?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, if China gets involved, then this is a whole different conversation, right? So at that point, it's different. But with just Iran, if we're just talking about Iran, I'm really not concerned about soldiers needing to go on ground. I just don't see that as a thing that would have to happen.
Yeah. So I got one more question because for me, it's a little bit different. And it's not just about, these soldiers in the country. Let me read this off. I'm sorry. W's in the chat for Gene. Gene sent a $1 donation saying roses are red, violets are blue. Kumquat smells like poo-poo. W's in the chat for Gene. Guys, if you would like to donate, Cash App, PayPal, Venmo, all the pay links in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24, best way to support the live. Everything is accepted. Anything's appreciated. Please don't forget to take care of E while she's hanging out here with us. Make sure that you're gifting her, hit her pay links, do all the wonderful things. Kumquat, my question for you is simply put, what about Americans, right? And not just in the sense of the American soldiers whose lives are on the line, and not talking about the ones being deployed, but what about the risk that we are now assuming? Because I don't think there's going to be an actual military strike, like an actual physical strike. There may be to the U.S. I don't think so, but I think more than anything, we have opened ourselves up to like more cybersecurity strikes, like strikes on our power grids, all of those types of things that we know for a fact that China has the ability to do, but there's a lot of other countries internationally that have the ability to shut us down in multiple ways. Are you not worried about that?
Well, I certainly think that they could attack. I think our cybersecurity team is one of the best in the world.
I don't think so.
I mean, it's definitely top 3.
It's China, not. You know that they rolled it back when Pete Hegseth became the head of the Department of Defense.
You said they rolled it back when what happened?
Pete Hegseth, once this administration took over, they rolled back multiple facets of the cybersecurity team, including them doing offensive cybersecurity, and they lessened some of the defensive cybersecurity that they were actually doing.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure what a 6-month pause will do compared to where China and the USA already are. But in my opinion, really only China is the one who could actually threaten us on a cybersecurity level. Mm-hmm. And they certainly could, but I think they would be the last to get involved. China usually doesn't get involved in these kinds of things anyway. Mm. So again, right, if we're going to say war with China, then, maybe we don't take the oil, right? But if it's not war with China, then we definitely do.
I hear you. Hey, E, the floor is yours.
Okie dokie. I just want to go back to the human impact of this because, Kumquat, how many United States troops are actually stationed in the Middle East?
I'm not sure.
Okay. If you had to give an estimate, how many do you think it is?
Ooh, I really don't know. But I'm gonna say 10,000.
Oh no! Multiply that by about 4 to 5. It's about 40,000 to 50,000 U.S. troops all along, right across the water from Iran. In Bahrain, Kuwait, and Qatar. We have troops there. We have 2,500 troops in Iraq alone. All right, and these are all places that Iran could actually strike, our bases. All right. How do you feel because of Donald Trump's rash decisions based on absolutely no evidence, only the word of a tyrannical, genocidal maniac? Yes, I'm talking about Netanyahu. All right. Donald Trump is taking his word and striking them. And now 40 to 50,000 U.S. troops, soldiers, personnel are in danger.
Yeah, a couple of things there. I will say, Trump said that he speaks to Netanyahu every day, and I do think that's problematic because that's a lot of influence to be putting on anyone if you speak with them every day. So I think that's too much. I think he probably was swayed, and certainly we should protect the lives of our soldiers, right? But with that said, Iran did launch a video for building international missiles against us, and when you do those things, well, they are
capabilities.
No, they are building international missiles. And when you do those
intercontinental?
things, yes, intercontinental.
Intercontinental ballistic missiles?
I'm not sure on the kind.
What? How many are there?
I'm not sure.
The expert on this one. I can look it up, but are you talking about intercontinental ballistic
Yeah, I mean, you
missiles?
can fact check me. You can see if I'm right. This is something I heard.
How many?
They're not. They're not.
I didn't think
and
so.
more so, you're conflating the talking points that you're trying to get off. You're supposed to say they're building nuclear missiles.
Yeah.
Not intercontinental.
ICBMs.
No. I said what I meant, right? Because I know the nuclear is the talking point, but intercontinental, why are they building that and saying they want to attack America? It's for us, right? So, and again, aside from all of this, they threatened our leader, and when you do that, you have to get got. And again, even if they didn't do all of that, we actually do, and I mean this genuinely, we have to start pillaging countries and taking their resources. And this country happens to have a bunch of oil, and they're a good target.
I hear you. Hey, are you white? Just to verify.
Israel?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Colonizer, got it.
Yeah, that's this real.
While,
This talking about
he is,
imperialism.
yeah, I mean, come on now, we know what they're about. At least he's putting it on the table. I mean, I can respect the shit out of that. I'm serious, like really serious, really serious. With that being said, I'm sorry, I interrupted you. Go ahead.
Iran doesn't have any intercontinental ballistic missiles there. There are different types of intercontinental ballistic missiles that you can launch via land or sea. Iran doesn't possess any of those.
So you're saying
They
no
have
missiles at all? I saw this
missiles.
somewhere.
They have ballistic missiles. There's a difference. They have ballistic missiles, which they of course can launch, and it may hit, Israel. It could hit Qatar. It could hit Bahrain. It could hit Iraq. But a missile from Iran to the United States, darling, that's not going to happen. They don't have the capabilities.
Well, what I saw was that they're building them. I don't know
Where'd
if they're
you
ready.
see that at?
I saw it. I saw it on TikTok. It's not a reliable source, but this is what I saw. So maybe I'm wrong, but this is what I saw.
They're not building.
Did you just quote TikTok?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, TikTok. Yeah.
Yes, he did.
See, listen, I was letting you hang out with the other stuff, but one more comment like that, and you gotta go.
I mean, hey man, I said it. Let her fact check me. Said it might not be real.
Yeah. Don't use TikTok as a source again. Anyway, go ahead, you guys.
I'm stuck. I'm sorry. He just quoted TikTok as a source. What am I supposed to do with that? How am I
You know
supposed to
what's
have a
funny?
conversation with
There
this
was
person?
research shown that. How old are you, Kumquat?
He said
Yeah,
28.
I'm 28.
28. Okay, yeah, you said 28. Are you Gen X technically?
I'm millennial. I think I'm millennial.
millennial.
But
Oh
like
yeah,
born in
you're a
96.
millennial. There was a study completed that apparently Gen X is using TikTok as a search engine more than Google, like literally.
Really?
So
Wow.
yeah, like that's like seriously, that's a thing. So like yeah. Anyway, I'm sorry. You guys go ahead.
Yeah. I mean,
Okay,
I feel like we've.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. Go ahead.
I was going to say, because even the IAEA, the International Atomic Energy Agency, all right, even they have had the inability to actually prove that Iran is producing any type of nuclear warheads over there. So they don't even have any proof for it. The UN watchdog hasn't been able to uncover any proof that they are actually building any nuclear warheads. They do not have nukes. The only person who is saying that they have nukes are two people. That's Benjamin Netanyahu and Donald Jimothy Trump.
Yeah, I saw the clip of Netanyahu where he says it repeatedly through the years, and it is a little fishy. So I don't know if they, maybe they don't have him. I don't know. But I
Okay,
do know
so
that
how do
they.
you defend Donald
Hold on
Trump
for a second.
actually did strike?
Hold on for a second. Kumquat. Do you actually believe in the stuff that you're saying, or did you just want to come up for a debate, which I'm cool with as well? But I kind of feel like you don't have conviction.
What do you mean? I do. I have conviction in that it's fishy if they actually have nuclear
No.
warheads.
I mean, just in general. Hold on one second. Barb, are you a Trump supporter? Barb. Yes,
Barb
you just came back to the phone. Barb. I don't think Barb.
Oh, not
knew she was
Kumquat
here.
leaving.
Oh, that was Kumquat.
Yeah,
Barb.
because you called him out.
Yeah, he didn't have any conviction.
Mm-mm.
Barb, can you hear me? Barb, are you still there? I don't think Barb knows she's here.
She does not.
Yeah, I don't I knew for a fact that he didn't have any conviction because. Also, RC, you can get out of my request and fuck off. I'm not bringing you up here.
He's disgusting.
He is. I don't understand why he always comes in and requests. Like, I've never let you on my platform. Why would I give you space to talk?
It's just gross.
Barb,
Hey,
you're still here. Yes, Barb. Barb B. Barb B. Do you know you're here? All right, I'm gonna drop you down.
Barb taking a nap.
She sounded like she rolled over on her phone.
Yeah, she's taking an evening nap.
Guys, tap the screen. W's in the chat for Lori. Lori sent a $5 donation saying for Corey, sorry is not more. Listen, thank you so much. You are absolutely far too kind. I'll make sure Corey gets that money specifically because you wanted to get that to her. Thank you so much for that donation. Guys, if you like to support myself or Erica, our pay links are in the link tree in the bio. Santana Speaks 24. Best way to support live. You can send a YouTube super chat as well if you would like to support. If you are a Trump supporter, get in the box. If you are someone that supports Jimmy Trump, get in the box. We are looking for some debates because Trump supporters, I need you to prove me wrong, which I know you can't. They can't eat.
No one has been able to so far tonight.
They don't. And I think like if they're scared, right?
Yeah.
They're scared.
You know, I was talking to someone.
And support. Oh, thank you.
Say
it again.
I was saying thank you, Robski. I was just saying that the E3, France, Great Britain, and Germany, they did a report earlier this month, and someone was trying to use that report to prove that Iran does have nuclear weapons, but nowhere in the report does it actually say that they have weapons. It only says that since leaving. Since leaving the U.S. leaving the JCPOA, that their stockpiles have grown over 40%. Over 40. I can't talk with these things in my mouth. I think I'm gonna take them out.
You should.
Got a lisp.
Yep. Guys, hey, just real quick, if you look up here and it says follow, if you're not following this account, make sure you hit the follow button. This is the main account now, so we need to make sure that we are following this. So if you see the word follow, go ahead and hit the follow button to follow this account. Also, if you see a gray heart, make sure you go ahead and press that gray heart to send your daily heart me. Any other Trump supporters? Any other Trump supporters wants to actually try to prove me wrong? I don't think you can.
They can't.
Yeah.
Simply just can't.
You know what I'm thinking, E?
What's that? Ah. Is it time to take a nap? You just really wanted to play that.
I think we're done. I think the game is over because literally no one could prove me wrong, and now they're not even getting in the box.
Blacka.
Yeah.
Maybe I should go live, but I don't feel like going live.
Maybe. I don't know. They're not requesting up anymore, so I think game over.
Yeah.
All right, E.
All right. It was fun. Y'all have a great night. Bye.
All right, guys. Listen. I guess we're gonna go ahead and hit that old dusty trail, right? I don't know if I want to talk to you again, Chase. I feel like you and I have went in circles. Hold on. Come back, Chase. Where'd you go? Come back, Chase. Chase, give me an argument that's not based in, oh, wait, hold on. This person came back. Chase, give me a second. Katie.
Hey, how are you doing?
Good. You're a Trump supporter, right?
I mean, some parts, yeah.
Did you vote for Trump?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. Erica, come back.
Oh, sorry, I just want to say, I know I left it abrupt hurry. I just want to say my friend's doing good.
I was just about to say, is your friend okay?
Yeah, we got her the help she needed. I took her to our local ER.
Okay.
Pulled her off the edge, but she's doing good.
Okay. All right. Perfect. All right. With that being said, hey, Katie.
Yeah.
I got a question for you.
Yeah, for sure.
Hello. Do you want to play a game?
Katie, which one did you vote for? More wars, higher prices, less freedom, the love of isms and phobias, or did you just want a king?
I mean, for me, I voted based not on none of those. The reason I voted for Trump is because of I don't know, abortion. And I really agree with one of the bills. I can't remember what it's called. It's one basically making animal abuse felony.
So you voted because of AB and because of the bill passed for animal abuse.
Do you have to say AB for TikTok or?
Yeah, for TikTok purposes.
Sorry.
It's all good.
Also, before we start our debate, I just want to say I really respect you. I think we could have a good conversation. So.
Yeah, I mean we could, but I don't think we will because I think I'm gonna pass this one off to Erica. I'm gonna let her actually do the heavy lifting. So E,
For sure.
You got it.
How are you doing, Erica?
Hi, Katie. How old are you? If you don't mind.
21.
How old?
21.
21.
Oh God. All right.
I'm sorry.
I'm not gonna do a philosophical or moral debate with you. I'm just not gonna do it. I'm not. I tell people all the time when it comes to AB that I'm not doing this philosophical crap. I'm not doing it. And the reason why I'm not going to do it is simply because it's not your body. It's not your use. That's my question. Why do you want to control it?
So Trump's stance is 12 weeks.
Trump's stance is 12 weeks?
Yeah.
If Trump's stance is 12 weeks, why did he celebrate getting a ban? Why did he celebrate overturning Roe v. Wade, where many states actually issued, if not a total ban, then a 6-week ban? Why did he celebrate it?
I don't know. I agree with his. I mean, I'm a little farther than his personal stance. Mine's 22 weeks, but.
Who is getting an abortion electively
AB.
after 22 weeks? That's
AB,
when typically
TikTok friendly language.
Oh, I'm sorry. AB after 22 weeks. That's typically when the fetus is viable. That doesn't make any sense. You didn't vote for what you actually believe in. That's why I don't believe that you're up here to actually argue this in good faith. You want to have a philosophical argument like you up here with Dina Parker. That's what you're trying to do.
Levy your argument. Tell me your stance. What is your actual premise as far as AB? What is it based in?
For me, it's based in if once this baby is viable, I don't think it's okay to unalive it. But if you're not wanting to,
No. I want you to focus for a second. What is your premise as far as like your opposition to AB? What is it based in? Is it based in a religious view? Is it a constitutional view? What up, Dan? What is your premise based in?
Honestly, just a personal from what I've read and what my specific morals are. I'm not religious. I'm actually atheist.
Right. So your morals. So your premise is based in your morals.
Yeah.
Okay. So tell me about your morals.
What do you mean, like?
What stance of morality do you have that deems it unacceptable for women to have access to health care?
I mean, I am looking at it more from the perspective of the baby or fetus. and I mean that to live. I think everyone, every human should have, the right to live, if they can live, without the complete and total reliability on someone else. So, for example, like a fetus before viability could not live without being inside the mother, but without, and that's why I don't
But
agree with the
but see, then
unreliability.
that premise doesn't work, because if you're saying that you believe in uh, if you believe into viability, I mean that's all that Roe did. Roe supported the access to AB and to the point of viability. So that
Really?
doesn't make sense.
Yes. Like, do you think that people, what do you, like, how late into pregnancy do you think people were getting elective abortion? ABs, good
AB,
grief. I pronounced it
is this your first
incorrectly.
time TikToking? What is happening?
It is my first time. Thank you guys so much for the love. I appreciate this on my very first time TikToking.
Well, I mean, I guess I haven't done very much research on Roe. From what I have heard and thought, it was all 9 months.
No one's
No.
getting ABs for all 9 months. If someone has to have an AB after the point of viability, more than likely it's due to extreme circumstances. Like no one's advocating for access to, or to be able to do that. And like if they have to have that, again, it's a medical procedure. Like that's the point.
Yeah. Well, and then I mean, it starts me too, because I feel like let's say if you're at 20 weeks or 19 weeks, I mean, if you're not having medical complications, I know it's like I don't want to infringe on someone's rights, but it's also like, can we try to push 3 weeks so we can get to viability? Just like, see, I would prefer to see more early inductions than ABs.
But see, the point that Erica was making before though was like, why should your opinion matter to Erica?
And that's why I said I don't want to infringe on the rights, which is why I don't think it should be criminalized.
Right? Like, so, but the whole point is that if you don't want to infringe on someone, then each individual should have their own ability to make their own choice.
Yeah,
right?
well, and what I'm arguing too, I'm not arguing to criminalize it. I'm saying my personal stance. I mean, I don't feel like I'm in the place to criminalize.
Well, but you voted that way.
But I don't. It's up to the state. It's not.
No. So the whole sending it back to the state thing was a cover. It was a cover. So what happened was, quote unquote, sending it back to the state then actually gives each individual states the ability to outlaw it how they want, right? There's multiple states who completely have an outright ban.
Yeah, I know my state does.
Exactly.
My state doesn't even give exceptions for grape or medical.
But like, why would you want to send it back to the state?
I mean, I think a lot of things should be at the state, but I don't know. I think that's a hard one. It's not good to not have a clear line, which is why I like his border policy, because it is a clear line. But then also, I think it's good to have states in power. But then I mean, I guess at a federal level too, it's a clear line.
Right. But so I'm trying to understand why though. Like, what's your premise being like for sending it back to the state? Is it because like each state is different and there's more representation if you consider the state versus a national view? Like, I'm confused.
Just in the comments, Stacey, I know a lot of states aren't putting it in the ballot, like Idaho. I'm actually in Idaho.
Hey, Katie, you're right here. You're right here.
Sorry, I apologize. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I'm gonna hurry and clear the display, so I'm just not even. There we go.
I mean, do you want to send it back to the states because it gives more representation, or again, I'm a little confused.
See, and for me, it's not even about the AB in specific. It's about giving power back to the states.
But then again, you literally are contradicting yourself, because you're voting for you voted for and support a president who has quite literally and openly been an advocate for stripping state rights. I mean, he literally just did that in California. It's superseding the will of the governor.
See, but I feel like in that case, I think it's a sticky situation. But in the state in California, I don't know. I think ICE is coming in with too much force. But That's the reason these protests started. And then what citizens are matching ICE's force, which ICE and the government are the ones who started that force, initiated that force. The citizens are matching that force. And then it's turning into this whole shit show of, shit's getting burned down. Most people are peaceful, but it's just leading to a whole shit show, and it's just who's going to keep more forceful, the government or the citizens. And I think the National Guard going in necessarily was a hard decision. I wouldn't necessarily say bad or good, just because of the fact how elevated it was getting.
It wasn't getting elevated though. It was pretty darn
It was getting elevated. I'm not
National
blaming it
Guard
all on
being
the
called in.
citizens.
It was elevated when the Trump administration sent ICE in with military grade equipment to try to enact.
That's what I said. I started it. I started the force.
Yeah. Again, this doesn't make sense because Donald Trump has been an advocate for stripping away state rights and access to certain things and trying to infringe on like blue states and all this other stuff. So again, that premise doesn't make sense.
This
nothing
girl
that you've said makes sense.
Huh?
You playing in our face. You playing. You want to practice your Phil-sis spiel. That's what you're trying to do. You're playing.
My what spiel?
Like a Phil bro? You're playing. Like, tell me, on average, how long is the typical pregnancy on average? How many weeks?
39 to 40 weeks.
Okay. All right, cool. How many months is that?
9 months.
No, it's not, baby. It's baby. A woman is actually pregnant for 10. What's 40 divided by 4?
10.
Exactly. It's 10 months. It's 10 months. How can you say that you're for abortion up to 22 weeks?
I'm going to have to drop you.
A-B. I say the word on my live.
Yeah, I hear you. That's not your space.
I'm so
this
sorry.
Is sparring.
I got to respect boundaries. My apologies. I'm so bad. I'm so sorry. And I'm sincerely, I'm sorry. I'm sorry, Kay. I'm sorry, Kay. I'm sorry. All right. Listen, how can you say that you are for AB up until the point of viability, which is 22 weeks, right? But then you come up here and you say that you voted for Donald Trump because he gave it back to the states. And then again, we say unto you that the states are totally going against what it was that you want, where when Roe v. Wade was actually in place, it just simply gave women the choice. No one was actually getting an elective AB far along into pregnancy. And if they were getting it past 21 weeks, all right, it was because of medical reasons, because it was either the life of the mother, so the carrier, or the unborn child, the unborn fetus, I should say. And the reason why I say child, chat, is because for myself, for me personally, even though I hate that saying, for me personally, I would never choose AB unless I absolutely had to. I would never choose it. However, I think every single birth giver in this world should have the choice on whether or not they want to maintain a pregnancy or not. So I am totally pro-choice.
Yeah, so and I think that's the issue that that people like myself and Erica have, right? Because it's all about control, right? And so that's why Erica started off with the question that she had. And she said, why do you want to actually control women's bodies, right? That's the problem. Like, allow people to make their own decisions, right? It has nothing, sorry, Kate, it has nothing to do with you. And if you don't want to have an AB, then don't have an AB.
So are you saying you think it should be correct me if I'm wrong, from what I'm hearing is it shouldn't have any like legislations on it, it should just be between like her and her doctor?
Yeah.
Okay, so you guys aren't more talking about a specific stance you have. You think it should genuinely just be like it shouldn't be legalized? Or
yeah, I mean, like legitimately, everything else that's like medical, as long as it's not harming other people, it's done between the person and their doctor. Yeah, and see, then people try to conflate the premise of, oh, it's a human, right? It's an actual person. But that's why I always have the question. It's like, where's your view? Because if your view is in a constitutional sense, well, rights are given to all persons born. Yep. Right? And if the actual child is not born, then it doesn't have access to those constitutional rights. If your view is in your religious views, God says, he talks about life at first breath.
Well, I also don't believe in that because he says you can get an AB if
Yeah, he
if your
does,
life
and that's
depends
what I'm
on
saying.
you,
There,
or
like, there's no, in my opinion, there's no valid reason for anyone to force their thoughts, feelings, or beliefs on other people as far as what they should or should
See,
not do.
and that's why that's the thing I struggle with a lot of trying to figure out my stances because, I feel like your stance, like it's easier to have like a clear stance, but like for mine example, it's like in some situations it feels like a damned if you do, damned if you don't, because having a certain cutoff, then it's like, well, fuck, what about a day after that? But then if you don't have anything, but it's also like, oh, like I feel bad that there are babies being unalive, but then it's like, oh, I don't want to force a mother
But
to
they're
do that,
not,
so I
though.
feel
They're
like
just
it's
a
like
clump of cells. They're a clump of cells before viability, and
well, I
no
know, but
one's
like, do you
advocating
see
for
what
post viability.
do you see what I'm saying in the way of I feel like it's hard to. I mean, your stance is more clear of like, it's not a damned if you do, damned if you don't area, but can you at least see the point of view for me of like, I think of it and I'm like, fuck, like we are unaliving things, but then it's also like, well, you shouldn't force a woman to have anything in her body.
Yeah, I mean, I think the thing comes down to what it comes down to is that you are coming from it from an actual logical perspective and trying to actually come up with a decision. But
I'm trying. Like
the
when
people,
I still struggle with my thing every day.
sure, but the people that are in charge, that's like propagandizing this, they're not right.
Yeah.
Do you know who the Heritage Foundation is?
Oh, I've heard of it, but I don't know.
The Heritage Foundation is a far-right think tank who has been responsible for multiple levels of funding within the Republican Party. And even more than that, they literally handpick multiple Supreme Court justices that Donald Trump has instituted. They handpick J.D. Vance, multiple people from the Heritage Foundation who wrote Project 2025, currently work within the Trump administration. The Heritage Foundation has had a 50-year plan to overturn Roe, to eliminate the ability for women to have access to ABs, but it goes back to what this guy right here, Chase, his whole point, where he likes to talk about the declining birth rate. But see, the difference
Chase
between
pro-life or pro-choice?
Chase is confused. The issue with Chase is he focuses on the declining birth rates within the Black community. Well, the Heritage Foundation could care less about the declining birth rates in the Black community. They only care about the declining birth rates in the white community because white people are not having kids. And so they have made this initiative in order to try to increase the white population, because the white population is currently on a trend to become the minority here in the US.
Oh, I wanted to also, this is a little unrelated. I heard Dean talking about you're gonna do a live on Juneteenth. I was wondering if this sounds like I'm an asshole. I don't know what Juneteenth is.
Mm-hmm.
If you're willing to explain it to me, like.
Yeah, I did the live
Sorry,
today.
Erica,
No worries.
Like,
No
I'm
worries.
trying to educate myself here.
Yeah, I hear you. The entire live is on my YouTube. So if anyone's
okay.
interested, Santana Speaks, right here, as a matter of fact. Santana Speaks. It's on my YouTube. It was an amazing live. One of the best lives that I've ever done. But Juneteenth was June 19th, 1865, the day that all of the slaves were officially freed in Galveston, Texas. It took more than 30 months after the Emancipation Proclamation for those slaves to actually be freed. And then there was more to it. But yeah, go check it out for everyone on the YouTube. But getting back to the point, the Heritage Foundation has specifically targeted this initiative to propagandize the pro-life position because they are worried about the declining birth rate. I mean, even in the 80s, they specifically used a targeted approach to shift the narrative within the Christian community to being pro-life. Prior to that, there was no pro-life stance within the actual Christian community.
Yeah, and see, I get that, but I don't know. I don't really see how that like relates to maybe.
The Heritage Foundation specifically wants to eliminate AB because they want more white people. Period.
See, and that's not
I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about the fact that you've been propagandized.
You voted for.
Exactly. And so even you can talk about you don't believe this or you don't believe that. Like
I don't think Trump's overall goal is to get more YT people.
Yeah, it's not about Trump. Trump. I literally just told you that the Heritage Foundation has literally the Supreme Court justices that Donald Trump appointed was given to him on a short list by the Heritage Foundation. Donald Trump's vice president, J.D. Vance, was picked by the Heritage Foundation and they told Donald Trump, this is your vice president. It's not about Donald Trump. It's about the Heritage Foundation.
Go back.
Yeah.
They picked him and told Donald Trump he was the vice president.
They gave Donald Trump a short list of people that were acceptable by the Heritage Foundation and said, here's your list, take a pick. Thank you, James. What up, James? The Heritage Foundation quite literally, again, the Heritage Foundation wrote Project 2025. And when writing Project 2025, there's been 60 or 70% of Project 2025 that's already been implemented? Like a large majority of Project 2025.
Not a big part, yes.
Yeah.
So after I get off here, I am gonna do some more research on that. I did not know that. And then the other thing I wanted to talk about is the pro-Palestine
40% complete. Thank you, Phil. I'm sorry. 40% complete.
Pro-Palestine, pro-Israel shit. And I think for me, I always say when people ask me, I am pro-innocent citizens. I'm pro-citizen.
That's
and then I think
position.
How?
Israel is a terrorist state and Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal.
I know. That's why I'm saying though. I know more Palestinians, innocent Palestinians are dying, but I am pro-citizen. On both sides, there are going to
Bibi
be...
Netanyahu is a war criminal.
She's a Zionist too?
And
I am not talking about...
Yeah, Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal.
Sure,
I hear you. Bibi Netanyahu is a war criminal and Israel is a terrorist state.
He could put a stop to this now, this moment.
And even more, even Jewish people believe that. Hey, thank you for that. That is
I feel
cool.
Like in that same way, that would be like if, let's say we got in a war, okay? Because,
We're already in a war. What are you talking about, gotten a war?
I mean a different war of someone...
Oh, another war, not the war that we're currently in.
No.
Okay, so you want another war on top of the current war?
No, I'm trying to...
Why are you using a hypothetical when we have a real war to talk about?
I'm not. I'm saying this in the way of a reason. So if, let's say, Russia comes up, they're like, damn, this guy, they don't like Trump, they're like, oh, he's an awful person, he has felonies, everything, okay, we don't like him. And then people were fine with saying Americans being unalived because of that, which is why I'm saying I'm pro-citizen. I don't care. Like, I obviously I'm on the Palestinian government side, I'm on the Palestine side, but I'm not on the side of any...
What Palestinian? What are you talking about? The Palestinian government?
Or is it? No, it's Hamas.
So you're on the side of Hamas? I'm so confused with your statement.
No, okay, I'm on Palestine's side. But
what do you know about the conflict in Israel and Palestine?
I know that it's been going on for years, and years. It started as it started over ownership of land. They didn't want certain groups of people in that land. They thought it was their land.
Who?
It started as Israel.
Who? No, it didn't. No, it didn't. It absolutely did not start as Israel. It didn't. That's what I'm saying.
You didn't let me finish my sentence. It started as Israel not wanting to be a part of Palestine.
After they were after they were accepted in by the Palestinians.
I don't know, but you didn't let me finish my sentence. It started as this whole thing started.
Israel decided, hey, we don't want to be a part of this anymore. You know, we're going to go off on our own.
That's not it.
It's
That's not it.
That is.
No.
It's
They were-
really
no.
not.
No, they were basically refugees from World War II, and they were given that land by Great Britain and the United States because it would be good for the United States and Great Britain to actually have an ally in that area, an area full of resources.
And then
Oil.
Israel decided they didn't want to do that anymore, which they shouldn't have done, but.
And then the Nakba came when they attacked the Palestinians. And they've been encroaching
The
on
night
their
of
land
broken
ever
glass.
since. Like,
So,
what are we doing?
I don't know. I don't think you know the stuff that, like, legitimately. I know Erica said she didn't want to engage in your Phil bro stuff or Phil sis, whatever you want to call it. I decided to actually engage in it, and you're not good at this. But also, like, seriously, you might want to actually educate yourself on other stuff before you make statements.
I'm sorry. I'm trying to educate myself.
No,
Like,
no,
Are you
not
trying to
not.
educate
on
yourself or
debate, like,
argue
Yeah,
these points?
yeah. Debating isn't educating yourself.
It's
That's
not.
two different things.
You have to come in already with a foundational knowledge of these things, and sometimes some people go into it with the expert level knowledge of it. You don't have the foundation correct.
You're debating people on TikTok.
I'm
No one has an
saying that
expert level
nicely,
of
by the
knowledge.
way.
Well, no, I'm not expecting anyone to be an actual expert, but I am
Exactly.
expecting people, if they come up to either one, be able to prove the stuff that they're saying, or two, have some level of actual knowledge. And the only
thing I'm
reason,
concerned
wait,
about
hold on,
on
slow down
Trump's
for a
policies-
second, Katie, slow down for a second. There's two things that happen, right? And Chase can tell you this. This is why Chase is sitting here quietly, because I've debated Chase before, and he's back, right? But there's two types of debate I have, right? One is an actual genuine debate where I'm willing to actually go back and forth on topics and have a real conversation. Two is where I just clown and dog walk you and then kick you because you don't know anything. And I have chose to actually go with the first option because I thought that you were here in genuine and you actually knew what you were talking about. But now I'm realizing that you don't have any conviction. You don't know about the things that you're speaking of. And then you came up here without any type of real information. So now I want to switch gears and clown you and kick you.
You're gonna listen to me one day, Santana.
I'm not coming up here in bad faith. I'm trying. Like, I'm sorry I'm not as well educated as you, but the only thing I'm for sure educated on as Trump stance is his border policy. But that's
You don't have to
What's his border- hold
apologize
on,
for
E-
not being as
hold on, E.
educated as the
What's his
host or
border
even
policy?
myself. Oh Lord Jesus.
What's his border policy?
he has a complete zero tolerance policy for the border.
Sure.
There
What's
is
his actual policy? Not what he said. What's his policy?
that everyone has to go.
No. You keep
name of the
talking about
policy?
what he said. What is his policy? What is the actual policy? Where is the policy written down, going through the progress of being passed into law? What is his policy? Where is
I
it
don't know the
at?
fucking name of it. I know what it is.
Exactly.
don't
No,
have the name
all
of the
you
policy.
don't know shit because all you know is the feelings in your tum-tum, just like Donald Trump talks about his feelings. You don't know about his border policy because the only thing you know is when he runs his mouth. And that's what you've been doing up here on this live, running your mouth without any type of information, facts, or conviction. You are not good at this.
Ooh, what Susie call them? Susie calls them headline hoes. Stop being a headline hoe. All right, actually read the
See,
article.
this
Read
is-
the report.
Someone, I'm coming up here in good faith. I'm calming
No,
you.
you're not.
You do the same shit of losing
No,
your
you're
shit
not.
because
Good
you
day.
can't have a debate.
Good day. I said good day. Good grief. Chat. Almost 700 people up in here. Tap that screen. Let's knock out these heart hands. Let's get these likes up to 300,000 likes in the next 10 minutes. I know y'all can do it. I believe in y'all. All right, continue to share the live. I ain't got nothing else. I told you gonna listen to me one day, bro. I know that much.
I hear you. Hold on one second. Chase, hold tight. No, it's not no damn pickle time.
Is it pickle time? Guys, when I come back, I'll give y'all some pickle time. You're gonna get this pickle.
Yeah. Derek, are you a Trump supporter? Derek, are you a Trump supporter? Okay. Hey, Chase. Make an argument that's not based in AB.
Yeah, so I could talk about your first thing about more war. So first and foremost, I would argue that the main reason we're in the predicament we're in is because of the Biden-Harris administration.
Substantiate that.
Yeah, so they lowered the sanctions on Iran, which actually allowed them to revitalize their economy after Trump put pressure on them. So
how did Trump put pressure on them? By pulling us out of the Iranian nuclear deal?
yeah, so he actually put many sanctions on their economies.
Mm-hmm.
He limited their oil exports, so their oil exports were at about 16 billion under Trump. Then under the Biden-Harris administration,
Yeah, but that didn't stifle their actual intelligence or their ability to actually create. Literally, with even under crippling sanctions, their science department grew. Right, their actual capabilities grew even with massive sanctions.
Their uranium reserves grew.
Yeah, that doesn't make sense. The sanctions didn't do it.
You could say this.
One sanction don't stop no show.
No,
it was not one sanction. He literally crippled.
One monkey don't stop no show. I know you have. I know your mama said that to you at least twice in your life.
Yeah, I've heard it. But,
okay, all right. One sanction don't stop no show.
Well, it wasn't one sanction. He used the entire Western world to block Iran out of global.
This is gigantic.
Right. So also you can say the same thing under the JCPOA, which Iran continued to ramp up its intelligence programs and exert regional control. So the JCPOA only stopped them from.
There's no proof. There's no proof of that. That's a lie. There's no proof. Hey, Santana, do you know that under the JCPOA that Iran actually was following the rules and keeping their uranium reserves under 4%?
Yeah, no.
All right. And not under 4%. It was a certain amount. I can't remember the amount. I'm sorry. But they were keeping the enrichment levels under 4%. Now they're at 60.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
That doesn't
yeah,
make
Donald
sense
Trump did us so many favors pulling out of
did.
that deal.
Mm-hmm.
Is it evening nap time? Y'all be safe out there.
Game over. We're done. We're done. Like literally, they were not good at this. They were not good at this. Hold on one second. I think she's like, this is the third time she's requested. Hold on.
She sleeps?
No.
Nancy. Yes. No, you got to stay here now. No, you can't run yet. Hold on, Nancy. No, you're up here now, Nancy. No. How are you?
I am fine, but I voted for Kamala.
I know
that's right.
Were you tapping, Nancy?
I was tapping the hearts and it came on.
I know you were. I know. Every time you came up, Nancy, you said no. Thank you for tapping the screen, Nancy. I appreciate you.
Yes.
All right. Have a good night.
Thank you. You too.
Mm-hmm. Nancy said no.
I'm gonna get out of here before you play that song on me.
I don't know what you're talking about, E.
Good day. Nope, you won't get me.
Still got you. What you tan about? Tell it to my nine. Cut your tongue out. Mail it to your mom. I'm a young god. Swagger unflawed. Anyway, guys. Time to get out of here. Hey, if you're not following me, hit the follow button right there. If you see follow at the top, go ahead and hit that follow button. Do you do lives with friendlies? With friendlies, you mean? Yeah, I do. Actually, late nights. Tomorrow we're back. Late nights with Santana. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. All are welcome to actually join the conversation with late nights. So yeah, we'll be back tomorrow. Chase, come back next time. You and I can finish the debate. It's just late, and I didn't want to keep doing that. Like Chase, you're welcome back. You're welcome back, Chase. I just didn't like it's. I'm in overtime. We'll do it another time, Chase. You got it. What time is it Eastern? So late nights is 11 p.m. Eastern, 8 p.m. Pacific, and we do it for 3 hours. So anyway, I'm gonna get out of here. We're gonna get out of here because it's t-shirt time. Swan Ray, we're leaving. Swan raid. Swan raid.
Twice emotional stability, a sound body and
We're getting out of here, Swan Raid. I'm sorry. It is time for us to get out of here. It is time for us to go. Listen, guys, thank you for all the likes, the taps, the loves. Thank you for just being here. You guys are absolutely amazing. Thank you for coming through in the clutch for Corey. I freaking love each and every one of you. Thank you so much for that mutual aid support for someone who absolutely needs it, someone that is here for us all the time. Swan Rage, you're missing it. We're getting ready to get out of here. I'm sorry. I love you more. I love you way more. Guys, you all are so amazing. Late nights tomorrow. We're back at it. And yeah, we're out here. Go raid somebody. Hold on. Who we gonna raid? Let's go bother GT. Let's go bother GT.